Oh boy, oh boy. Yeah, what a week. What a week. And we're ending it. Not really ending, right? Weekends. But we're ending the work week with hopefully a good chunk of reading today. I'm focused. I'm laser focused in. Kinda. Slightly. I'm dying over Mikhail's wacky time travel adventure. Wacky fun time travel adventure. We have entered a weird part of the story narratively. I'll get to that probably in the recap, but like it just feels different. It feels different. We've entered a weird part of the story, and I don't mean in a weird bad way, but just weird it's different. Let's see, as the music blares, let's see, we, in the last stream recap, we joined Mikhail being impaled and dying at the hand of his brother and a mob of knights or whatever. And then his body, dead body, I assume at this point, taken to that weird village from the past with the weird old man. And they're all happy to have caught the witch. And I say witch with quotes. Air quotes. Heavy air quotes. Because we know Mikhail's not really a witch. Really. Technically. Really. Right? But all the villagers rejoice. They're like, yeah, we got the fucking witch. That shows that witch. Now our lives will be better. You know. It's like a certain group of people. You could make an analog to current day. Where certain people love to scapegoat someone that they don't understand, or just because they're slightly different than them, and feel that if something bad were to happen to those people they don't understand, that then their lives would improve immediately. But I digress. So they're like, yeah, we're fucking, our lives will be great now. We've slain the witch. It's easy living from here on out. Mikhail then explains the next stretch of details in kind of like brutal detail. Talks about how he sees what's happening to his physical body as like a third person type experience, as like a spirit witnessing. He's tied to his body, but he's witnessing just his lifeless corpse being strung up on like a cross or whatever. Kids of the village throw rocks at his body. It's just withering and decaying. There's like black spots or whatever. And as if it couldn't get any worse, his mom eventually goes to see his body, and the mom cries. She's like, that's not my daughter. That's not Michelle that I know. This is fucking terrible. And it's like being kicked while you're down. Mikhail being kicked by all these sources while he's already been dead. It's very bad. And then Morgana at some point is like whispering her evil words to him that all hope is lost. And then the spirit of Giselle rescues him. It's kind of like that one time in Kingdom Hearts Rechain of Memories, or just Chain of Memories technically, where Diz, but at the time we're led to believe it's Ansem, but it's not Ansem, it's Diz, is speaking to like Riku, and then the spirit of Michael Mouse comes to his aid. It's just like that in Kingdom Hearts. So Giselle comes to him as like a spirity form, seemingly, and she's like, don't listen to the words of Morgana. I'm with you. I've never left you. I've never hated you for who you are. Great touching moment. We love that. Then basically Mikhail it's exactly like Mickey, exactly like Michael Mouse. Our good friend Michael Mouse. Disney's Michael Mouse. So then we have Mikhail and Morgana basically get into like a word off. They're basically like, nuh-uh, and then the other person's like, yeah-huh. And he's like, there must be something that happened to you in your past that you aren't telling us, or there's like some perspective that will enlighten that you're not privy to. And she's like, that doesn't fucking matter. What happened is what happened to me. It doesn't matter. I was treated poorly, and that's why I'm bitter and angry about all this stuff. And he's like, there's got to be something we're missing. Exactly. No one wants to be the white-haired girl. No one wants to claim ownership of, like, the white-haired girl situations in the stories that we've done. So that was going on. And then Mikhail and the spirit of Giselle get, like, sucked into the Shadow Realm or whatever. And they get warped back in time to the era of Morgana, with the story where she died long ago. So it's the story where she is drained of her blood, being taken advantage of by this group of three guys. The Lord, the assassin, the boy. So that they get sucked into this realm. And then we get, like, an extended scene, and I mean, like, really extended scene, where basically we get the equivalent of, like, the whole, like, did this just happen? And then it's like, I guess this is our life now. You know, that kind of thing. Is this really happening? Kind of thing, where the spirit of Giselle has now occupied the brain and mind of Mikhail in this thing. She is, like, just this voice inside of his head, which is both probably helpful to him, but also probably annoying. Like, deep down, he wouldn't say it, but it probably is kind of annoying to him, because he's like, I love her so much, but her voice just constantly, like, piloting me is gonna get old quick, probably, to him. Is what I would assume. So basically, Mikhail wakes up and has Giselle's spirit in his head, and they can communicate to each other. He learns that he can just, like, telepathically to her, and she could talk to him. It's so bizarre. It's kind of bizarre. And then, what is their fucking plan? They seemingly think that they can, like, rewrite history or somehow save Morgana. And this is what I was getting to earlier. This part is the part in the story where this is weird now. Again, not weird bad, just weird interesting. Because this whole time, as I said previously, this whole story has just, like, been backstories and witnessing things that have already happened that we aren't really an active participant in, and then we see how they shaped the characters we know of, right? The characters we know now, we saw all these happenings in the past and what shaped them and why the tragedies they've gone through and everything. And now, through some sort of magic or whatever, they, at least on paper, think that they can correct and save Morgana maybe somehow. If I had to put my money on it, I don't think that this is gonna work out, if I'm being honest, but it's whatever. Like, if I had to bet right now, I bet they don't save Morgana, but they find something out that lets Morgana rest easy. It's gonna be like, oh, I can move on from this because you found out that something happened, and I can die peacefully and not always be bitter and want revenge. That is my guess. Because actually changing history means something completely different. I just don't want to comprehend how that would actually take place. Exactly. We have 3 days apparently, and I assume this is not like a, this is not a like a, you know, a Higurashi situation where you can keep repeating a certain time in life when things don't go perfectly, and then you just rewind and keep trying. Like, I don't think they get a second try after this, but who knows? I've been wrong before. So then they meet Mel, and Mikhail fails at being sociable and not being weird. He has to keep him knowing Mel on the down low, basically. And then they have Mel take them to the church because they are lost as shit. They're like, this isn't where, like, where are we? I don't even know where we are. They meet the nun that they've heard about, I think, in the past, and at some point she talks, and she's like, oh, weary travelers, whatever, I'm a nun. It's busy being a nun. She offers, like, a blood potion thing to them, and they're like, thanks, but no thanks. They talk about, basically, like, we know that that's sketchy. Mikhail basically hints to Mel that he knows it's Morgana's blood, and then Mel starts, like, panicking and freaking out, and Mel wonders how he knows this kind of stuff and kind of gets suspicious. And then Mikhail asks to stay at the church to accomplish their goal, because they're like, well, We have 3 days and we got to stay around here. We don't have anywhere else to go because we're just random travelers, basically. We don't belong here in this era. And they're like, we got to stay here, and at the very least, we're gonna need to like break into that watchtower, or we got to get keys. Are the keys figurative? Are they literal keys? We don't know, but we're gonna have to get those and probably get to the watchtower and save Morgana. And then they know it's basically 3 days of the Harvest Festival, and at the end of those 3 days, shit is gonna hit the fan. So they basically have that mental timer in their head, and that is basically the whole of it. That's all I remember. Forever hold your peace. Wacky fun time travel adventure time. Now let's read. It's been short, but in this stretch of this final door, because we got the pop-up that was like the final door, it is a different energy. It was a little goofy at first explaining that Giselle was in his head and all that, and then it was kind of like there's like, oh, I'm a fish out of water type thing. And like I said, ultimately they sound like they think that they can actually affect change in the timeline, but I don't know how viable that is, or if this game is really going to try to convince me that that's a thing that they can do or is going to happen. I'm skeptical. I just don't believe it. Anyway. As I step into the chapel, I see an old man waving to the nun as he heads for the door. The man is practically beaming, and judging by the vial in his hand, oh god, he's happy about more than simply having a chance to see her. Is that saint's blood? According to Morgana's account, a disease began spreading through the city at the Harvest Festival, eventually eradicating the population. In a time like this, where medical knowledge is so limited, a plague would be almost unstoppable, and the sight of so many people dying so quickly could appear to them the work of a demon or a curse. We come from the future, so we know just how dangerous this is, but they have no idea. Oh, you know what would be zany is if they went around all the village people and like smacked the potions out of everyone's hands. Don't drink that! I come from the future. Whoosh. Morgana described it as a tale that could have only taken place in that era of miracles and spirituality, and about that, she couldn't be more right. Could we maybe warn everyone against taking the medicine? I assume the sickness was caused by them ingesting blood at any rate. It's not medicine they're being given. But bottled disease, like some sick joke. If we could convince them to stop taking Saint's blood, then maybe we'd prevent the city from being destroyed. But the fact that it's being distributed in the house of the Lord, and peddled as a miracle cure, plays right into their deep-rooted spirituality. Would it even be possible to convince them otherwise? And besides, it's not them we came here to save, but... No, that's veering too far off our intended path. We need to find the truth and save Morgana's soul. Putting ourselves out like that is only going to get us unwanted attention, make people suspicious, and we don't have that kind of time. Yeah, you're right. Sorry. It's just, knowing what they're doing to themselves, I couldn't help but think that maybe there was something we could do. Especially considering how it all turns out. I understand the sentiment. Or rather, I understand your reasoning. But for me, Morgana takes priority over any of them. And you over everything. Let's make that clear. You're at the top of the totem pole. Releasing Morgana's soul should save yours as well, Giselle. If we can eliminate the mansion's darkness, then you won't have to be trapped as it's made. I have no interest in being the hero of the masses. Let's go ask about Mel's sister then. Okay. Okay. I turn my gaze back toward the nun to find her kneeling in one of the pews. She bows her head and begins to whisper a prayer. There's no one else in the chapel. Now's the perfect time to ask. Hearing me approach, she falls silent and turns to face me, wearing her usual disarming smile. Hello, Mikkel. Mel was just here. He told me everything. Can't turn away a friend of Mel's now, can we? Sorry for turning you down earlier. Yeah, you better. No worries. I did a poor job of explaining myself. So, did you need something? Let me guess. Medicine? No! Stop giving me this. No. No. I'm in perfectly good health. I figured you were lying. I can ask her about Saint's Blood some other time, and we'll have a number of questions about the man she's close with too. Right now, Mel's sister is priority. Are you familiar with Mel's younger sister? She has flaxen hair, much like him. Oh, you mean Nellie. Are you her friend too? I would say we're more... You're better off just saying you're friends. Friends, yes. What about her? I would like to speak with her, and I was wondering if you might know where I could find her. Nellie should be down at the cottage, I believe. The cottage? Yep, that's where I stay too. I don't sleep in the mansion itself. So you don't live here, but only work here? Right. For one, there are men who live here. The Lord likes to show up on occasion too, and we can't have a nun wandering around while he's here. So, you and Nellie live together then? Yep, we have for about 6 months or so, ever since she and Mel showed up. I wanted to let her stay with her brother, but since this is technically church property, we have to keep the boys and girls separate. I see. I'm so glad to hear Nellie's got a friend though. What? She's not from around here, so she doesn't have many acquaintances. And with how sick she can get, she doesn't spend much time outside, which is a shame because she's such a sweet little girl. I'm her friend, of course, but I've got responsibilities. I can only be around so often. So I'm sure she'd be delighted to have someone else to talk to. It would be my pleasure. Could you, tell me the way to the cottage, then? Oh, sure. It's not that far from here. You go down. ... The directions I got from the nun led me to a place I know from my own time. It's the same building where the man who has been ordered to keep me under surveillance stayed. Sunlight seeps relentlessly through the trees, and I find myself having to look down at my feet as I follow the path. It's blindingly bright, painful. How are you holding up, Mikkel? I'll be alright. The sun's past its peak. In a few hours it won't be nearly as bad. Don't push yourself, okay? Okay. The trek is a reminder of just how inconvenient my body always was, and having this chance to experience being alive again comes with both the good parts and the bad. But now is hardly the time to complain about my sensitivity to the sun. Ah, the sun. It's not long before we reach a clearing, a small cottage surrounded by a small garden coming into view, and crouching by a flower bed, picking flowers, is the flaxen-haired girl. Are you Nellie? Though several details of her appearance don't match my memory of her, she still has that distinct hair. Could be nobody else. This Nellie is considerably thinner and looks rather frail. The effects of her being ill, I presume. Who are you? My name is Mikkel. I have a few questions to ask you. Can we talk for a bit? This is stranger danger. This is the ultimate stranger danger situation. I would have thought she'd have said I would have thought she'd have said something by now. You're being way too blunt, Mikkel. You're gone and scared her. What else was I supposed to say? You have to approach slowly, carefully. Yeah, it's same here. I don't... It seems just like such a like... At some point, I feel like you just got to brute force. Like, it's going to get to the end of the 3 days, and it becomes just like, all right, well, we tried the talking route to all these people. I need to just, like... Maybe I need to drop into the watchtower from above or something. Squeeze through the bars and that thing. I don't know. Going through the roof. Do something. You have to approach slowly, carefully. Go on, give her a smile. A nice, soft smile. Smile. I'm only here to talk. There's nothing to be afraid of. Okay, that is definitely not a nice smile. Can't even see it, and I can still tell. What did you expect? Can't just smile on demand. Eek! It's a bad man! A bad man has come to kidnap me! Exactly. Exactly. She's doing what her parents told her. Don't let the weird strangers get you. Save me, dearest Mel, before this bad man does bad things to me. Calm down, please. I'm not going to do anything to you. Eek! Don't get any closer! I know you're trying to do bad things to me. Oh no. I'm not going to do bad things to you. I couldn't, even if I wanted to. Okay. Chill. Chill, Mikkel. Don't move or I'll call the guards on you. Please, calm down. I mean you no harm, honestly. That's what all bad men say. Giselle, don't just watch. This would be a fantastic time for a little advice. Got it. Maybe she'll calm down if you mention Mel. You're a genius. I'm a friend of Mel's. What? He was telling me about you and how you wanted someone to talk to. He asked me to go keep you company. Mel asked you to come talk to me? He did. Do you trust me now? Yes, Mel, your brother. Do you trust me now? So that makes you his friend then? As much as it pains me to admit it. Mikkel, what on earth possessed you to say that? Slip of the tongue. You and him, is that so? Yes? You're pretty old to be friends with my Mel. Are you really his friend? Really? Then prove it. How so? If you're really his friend, then you should be able to tell me all about him. Why in God's name would you ever subject me to that? Do you not like Mel, Mikkel? That's not it. We're just incompatible. Okay, here we go. Oh my God, is this game actually gonna quiz me? First question, what does my Mel like most of all? Oh, for fuck's sake. Okay. This is gonna be easy, right? He likes... Is it a trick question? She just wants to hear her name be said, yeah? Come on, naps? There's no way in hell it's naps. It's not naps. Theater, I can't tell if this is a bait answer or not. I'm picking Nelly. Fuck it. You think so too? You think I'm his favorite thing in the whole wide world? I like to believe that's what he thinks. I think it'd be wonderful if I could always be his number one. Her excessive love for her brother is still out in full force, I see. Second question, what kind of person is my Mel? God, there's a second question. Okay. Focus. I love there's the pause, there's the delay to make you think about it. He's not a sycophant. He's a spineless chump? Huh? He's a nice guy. That's right, he's a very nice guy. He can have his head in the clouds sometimes, but other than that, he's perfect. You know your stuff. To be honest, I was just saying what you wanted to hear. What? This is so... me and my big mouth. Okay, final question. Describe what he looks like for me. I'm gonna think flaxen hair. I'm gonna have to just take a wild stab and think flaxen hair is showing up here. Nope, flaxen hair is not available. I try not to scrutinize other men. He's decently handsome, or I'm far better looking. What the fuck? I mean... I'm debating between these. She probably wants to hear me say that he's decently handsome. This option just is weird. Isn't he? He's like a modern day Adonis. That might be a bit of a stretch. Mel could be a prince in a fairy tale. He's got the most perfect face. May I ask you something? You do realize he's still growing, right? And that can change a man in unimaginable ways? He could end up 2 heads taller, shoulders twice as broad, and covered in muscle before you realize what's happened. And body hair. Lots of that. Facial hair as thick as these woods. This game is unreal. All of a sudden. Would you still consider Mel your prince if that happened to him? Mel with a beard and muscles? I won't have it. That's not my Mel at all. You're heading into dangerous waters, Mel. My Mel will never, ever grow a beard. I'll pray every day to make sure of it. And he won't get all big and muscly either. There's nothing princely about any of that. I wouldn't mind some muscles myself. Out of curiosity, did you ever want to be buff like that, Mikkel? Well, yes, of course. Every man wants to be strong and well built. I don't think the beefy look would work on you. Okay. Thanks for your input, Giselle. Well, that's the last of my questions. You're not a complete stranger, it seems. Sure, why not? You can be my Mel's friend. Why, thank you. This is great. I was sure you were a bad man. Why is it that the first impression everyone has of me is never that I'm someone decent? Any friend of Mel's must be a good person. No, an amazing person. That's quite the faith you have in him. Why wouldn't I? He's my big brother. That's some circular logic. Why is he trying to be rational with a little girl? Like, him attempting, like, just to try to, like, make sense of what she's saying and try to explain how she's being absurd is just like, it's like talking to a brick wall. Is it just you? Is Mel not coming? He's rather busy at the moment. Oh, he always has something to take care of, that Mel. He's hardly given me any attention these past couple months. But that's okay, because today I've got you to keep me company. Yes, you do. I can't stay long, though. Alright, just stay until sundown then. You had something you wanted to ask me, didn't you? Well, if you're a good enough friend, I'll tell you anything you want to know. And how do I go about that? Talking. Lots and lots of talking. You have to keep me entertained. You're asking far too much of me. She's not asking much at all. She just wants to talk. Do you think someone who spent 13 years in isolation knows the first thing about holding a pleasant conversation? Hey now, I was there for a year of that. I'll help you come up with topics, so go on. Do you not want to talk to me? No, I do. I'm just not much of a conversationalist. Okay, then instead of talking, you can sing. I've never seen a minstrel before, but I've always wanted to know what kinds of songs they sing. Will you show me? Never seen one myself either, but I have heard secondhand accounts of the songs of traveling jongleurs. Jongleurs? Very well then. I'll teach you a song an old acquaintance of mine heard while traveling. Whee! I can't wait. Here goes. It's a future song. Silence is deafening. I'm shocked. I don't think I've ever heard someone sing so badly. God, Mikkel can't even catch a break. Me neither. I'm flabbergasted. Let's hear you try then. That's enough singing for today. I don't want my ears to fall off. What a vicious little girl. I know. Let's bake something. Bake something? Yep, come on inside. I made some nice jam earlier today, and I want to make it into a pretty little pie. You get to help me with that. I'm not much of a... Come on, get a move on. You either help or you don't get to be my friend. As you wish. This is not going to end well. Very unserious. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. How on earth do you manage to turn a pie into this monstrosity? I gave it my best shot. There's only one explanation. You're possessed. It's true, he is. But I'm a perfectly good chef. Mikhail's just naturally terrible at it. God, could this go any worse? I can't give this to Mel. Jerk, dimwit, loser. I'm sorry. I guess we got no choice but to eat it ourselves. I'll set the table. What? And I'll make us some tea while I'm at it. You know, I've always dreamed of this. Sitting around a table with a friend, having snacks and just talking. Oh. Yep, and for that I can deal with a little awful, disgusting pie. It's just too bad I couldn't share it with my Mel, too. I see. For all her complaining, she seems to be enjoying herself. I can only imagine how lonely she is out here. While she may act all bright and cheerful, beneath it is a real sense of isolation. And the same can be said about the girl behind the first door. As vivacious and pushy as she could be, you could see hints of loneliness behind it all. Her brother was practically all she had while she lived in the mansion. But if I were to guess, that's not the life she really wanted. I bet she would have preferred to be able to go out and play with friends. Being born into a noble family takes away a lot of your freedom. Even in such drastically different time periods, she's still the same girl inside. Actually, maybe the parallels extend beyond her as a person, and into the courses of her two different lives. Perhaps that means all those who are reconstructed at Morgana's wishes are destined to lead similar lives. Though, destined might be putting it too nicely. Nelly? I would be glad to lend you my ear if you would like. You can talk about the weather, or your brother, or maybe a key that opens up a door if put with two other keys. You know, anything. I'm just throwing anything out there. Anything you want. You will? Great, take a seat. I got lots I want to talk about. More than you can possibly imagine. And you'll never guess what Mel said next. That I mean more to him than anyone in the world. So I'm growing flowers out in the garden, right? Well, when I've got enough of them, I'm going to make a big bouquet and give it to Mel. Back at home, we got this really, really big yard with this huge tree we used to take naps under when it was nice out. So what do you think about the tea I made? The flower petals. Well, it really ties it all together. Oh, and you won't believe what happened after that. She's gonna slam the table and be like, enough! Care for another cup of tea? I'll make as much as you can drink. No, thank you. I'm fine. Feel like all I did was nod and listen. And the bulk of it was about Mel, no less. I haven't talked that much in ages. Time sure flew by, huh? The sun's starting to set. Do you and the nun not speak much? We do, but it's kind of, I don't know, not really the same with her. Just feels, I guess, like she's too important for me to waste her time being the lady in charge of the church and pretty much the whole estate. And what about Mel? Does he not visit you very often? No, he does. He comes to see me a lot. Then why? He hasn't been himself lately. My old Mel would always happily listen to whatever I have to say, but now he seems kind of distracted. It sounds like he's really busy. When he visits, he doesn't stay for long, and he has to go back to the mansion at night. I'll try to get him to stay longer, but it never works. And he always avoids the question when I ask him why he can't. Feels like he's hiding something. Knowing what he's hiding, I can understand why he wouldn't want to talk about it. He could never tell his precious little sister that he and two other men have a girl locked up in a tower, and that he's stealing her blood for her sake. I wish things could have stayed the way they were before. The way they were before? When it was just the two of us living together. I know we're more stable here, and I can get the medicine I need from the church, but I'd rather stay being sick than be so alone. You said you came here around 6 months ago? Yep, it was just the two of us before that. Well, before that, at our old house, we had a bunch of servants, but I never really liked it there either. With that many people around, I just felt more alone. I liked it so much better when it was just me and Mel. Is that really what you want? To be sick and in constant pain? It's better than being alone. Mel just doesn't get it. He doesn't understand that the loneliness is so much worse. Or maybe that's just a guy thing. They don't get what it's like to be ignored. What it feels like to be left in the dark, not knowing anything. They're like, ooh, we don't understand, no. We think saving their lives matters above all. Huh? Even if there's a cost to saving that life, we're incapable of gauging how great it is. We're unable to see how egotistical, how self-serving our actions are. Are you talking about yourself? Same could be said of Mel as well, I imagine. Mel's still around though. He's there, but it's like he's trying to avoid me. All I want is for him to be here, to be with me. That's all I really want. He doesn't even have to be a perfect fairy tale prince. Have you ever told him that? What? Have you ever told him that he doesn't have to be the perfect brother? That you'd be happy with just having him there? Have you ever put those feelings into words? I'm always telling him I want him around, and that he doesn't have to be your prince to do so. He's already said he'll be my prince, and he always smiles whenever I talk about it. So how am I supposed to turn around and say he doesn't have to be my prince anymore? I know it's not your intention to force an ideal image onto him, but unconsciously, subconsciously, that's what you're doing when you talk like that. And Mel, he's trying to meet those expectations. Actually, he may not be conscious of it himself, and he just believes deep down that that's the kind of person he's supposed to be. Or, more accurately, he seems to have a need to make himself look good to others. He believes that if he's good to others, they'll be good to him in return. Am I a burden? I can assure you, he's better off with you around. But I am a burden to him right now, aren't I? Be honest with me. Yes, you are. Oof. Could have said a white lie. Does Mel not like me anymore? Is that why he's been avoiding me? I promise you, that's not the case. At the very least, he's doing what he's doing now because of how much he cares about you. You promise? I promise. I love him. I love my Mel so very much. Too much, in fact. To be honest, I know I do. I understand that, really. I know I'm making his life difficult, but Mel's all I have. He's the only person I can latch onto, and I can't control my feelings. She's like, it can be difficult to tame your emotions at your age. There's nothing wrong with that. However, you should have taken stock of those emotions, sorted through everything you've got on your mind, and then sat down with him to talk it out. Even if those things you feel seem wrong or unspeakable. You should have opened up to him, taken the time to figure out what works best for the both of you. You two needed to face the things you carried in your heart, the things your brother carried in his. By not doing so, you end up never quite on the same page. Small misunderstandings piling up until it all comes crashing down. If they had just talked it out... Oh, that's still him. If they had just talked it out, communicated their feelings to one another, maybe their tragedy could have been avoided, even with Morgana's curse in play. If Nellie had only had a chance to come to grips with her feelings for Mel, then maybe things wouldn't have escalated the way they did. Her actions that night were arguably hysteric, but she wasn't always like that. I'm sorry. That was out of line. None of this is any of my business, I know. No need to apologize. You're a very curious man, you know that? Huh? We only met a couple of hours ago, but you talk like you've known me my whole life. It's like you can hear everything I'm thinking, see everything in my heart. Did Mel tell you all of that? No, he did not tell me much. I didn't think so. He doesn't know me that well. It's not too late, is it? If I talk to him, really tell him how I feel, do you think Mel will listen? I know he will. It won't make things worse? It won't make him uncomfortable? There's a chance that rifts may form at first, but those cracks can be filled again, and I promise you, the result will be something much better than if you had held it in. It'll all work out. Okay, next time I see Mel, I'll tell him. I'll tell him he doesn't have to try to be my prince. Good. You really are a curious man. You're the first person to ever talk to me like I'm a real person. I'm sure Mikhail's like fucking internalizing that, and he's like, see, I can speak to people. Fuck you, Giselle. You hear that, Giselle? Did you hear what she said? Everyone loves to say how sweet and adorable I am, but that's it. I was only ever their make-believe princess. You are a real person, I assure you. Thanks. You know, after talking to you, I'm feeling a whole lot better. Like I can do anything. I'm glad you came by today. And I'm glad I could meet you in person. It's weird. It feels, really feels like we've known each other our entire lives. I've known of you for some time. Or perhaps I should say, what you will become. Huh? Oh, no. Ignore me. Was that supposed to be a pickup line? Bad, Mikhail. I'm still too young for that. No, I wasn't. And now you're getting flustered. I swear, that's not what that was. I know. Jeez, do you really think I trust you that little? Sorry. It's awkward. Oh, I just had the most wonderful idea. Oh? Yep. Instead of being my friend, I'll let you be something even better. You're my second brother. Second brother? A brother's much more special to me than a friend. Though, obviously you can't be my number one. I'm blinking. She's taking a liking to you. This is good for us. I'm not sure how I feel about her putting so much trust in me so quickly, though. The amount of time it takes isn't important. What matters is that you listen to her, you understand her, and you treated her like a real person. In her eyes, you're someone she can depend on. Do you not want me as your sister? Actually, I was the youngest child, so having a younger sibling would be, Be what? Come on, spit it out. It would be rather nice. You bet it would. Who wouldn't want an adorable little sister like me? That's a bit narcissistic, wouldn't you say? Well, it's true, isn't it? Go on, tell me I'm adorable, dearest Mikhail. What? Well, don't just stare at me. If my Mel were here, he wouldn't bat an eye. Please don't compare me to him. Ha, ha, ha. You know, now might be a good time to tell her about Morgana. Part of me feels like I'd be taking advantage of her newly earned trust, but it'll certainly be easier to bring up now while she holds me in such high regard. She's much more likely to believe me. You're right. I agree. Now's probably the best chance we'll get. Especially considering how little time we have. Can't shake the feeling I'm rushing things, but at this point, all I can do is go with it and pray it works out. I don't see... So wait, you're gonna tell him... I mean, what is she gonna do with this information? Did I miss something, or am I a little confused? Or are they just saying if we spread the information about Morgana, it can only help us? If we had the time, I think we'd all like to hold off. Nellie looks like she's having so much fun. And even you seem to be enjoying yourself. No, I'm just... It's nothing to be ashamed of. I'm having fun watching you myself. Let's do it. Let's tell her about Morgana. We have to do it at some point anyway. Yes, let's. Nellie, do you mind if I ask you a question? What is it, dearest Mikkel? Ask me anything you want. Have you heard of something called Saint's Blood? You mean the medicine? Yes. Unfortunately, yes. Except it's not actually... I know, yeah. It's actually the Saint's blood, not medicine. She knows? But no telling. You... What? One day before we moved here, when it was just me and Mel, the Saintess came to visit. My mind had been all foggy for a long time, like I was not quite asleep, but not quite awake either. But when I heard her soft, pleasant voice, the fog cleared a bit. And then she performed a miracle for me. Blood is awful and gross and terrible, but the Saintess hers is different. Hers is pure. So you're saying you know everything, Nellie? About the observation tower and... Huh? The tower? What about it? That's where they keep her. What? No, the Saintess is always in the chapel. And she stays here with me. She comes back at nights. Okay, so she knows partial truth. She knows she's still... She thinks... Obviously that it is the Saintess' blood is not Morgana's blood, but the lie that's been fabricated that it is the... Or that it belongs to the nun that we've seen. I mean... In fact, she should be here any minute now. So, she thinks the Saintess is the nun and not Morgana. No, Nellie, that blood comes from... I'm really, really grateful to her. She didn't just perform the one miracle, she's been taking care of me where I'm, taking care of me while I'm here too. So whenever I see her, I always say thank you. I thank her for sharing her blood with me. And she always says it's nothing with a big smile. Nellie, no. The nun has no idea. She just assumes Nellie's thanking her for giving her the medicine. Oh, this is all kinds of messed up. It's not even a lie that she was told that. She just thinks. She wasn't even... Oh, man. I owe the Saintess my life. No, Nellie. She's not the one you should be grateful to. Huh? The girl you owe your life to has been locked up, suffering and alone even as we speak. But the Saintess is at the church. The girl who came to visit you is not the nun everyone calls a Saintess. Her name is Morgana. What are you talking about, Mikkel? The Saintess is locked up? Stop that. I have no idea what you're talking about. This is about as good as I expected it. She's a little girl trying to explain high concept ideas of like someone being locked away and tortured and like I don't know what they expected. Everything I'm telling you is the truth. Please believe me. While you were lying in bed, sick and barely conscious, did you get a good look at the Saintess who gave you her blood? You didn't, did you? You couldn't make out any details because your mind was a haze. And then, when you arrived at this estate, you met a woman who people called the Saintess, giving out medication known as Saint's Blood. So you assumed she was the one who had cured you. That's the story you chose to believe. If what you're saying is true, then where's the other Saintess? The one who came to see me? At the top of the mansion's observation tower. The door to the tower is locked. She's imprisoned there. And how do you know this? Because it wouldn't be wise to tell her I'm from the future just yet. That would only serve to confuse her further. All I need to convince her of right now is that Morgana is being held in the tower. There's an idea. Perhaps I can borrow from the story the white-haired girl told Mel. I received a letter. A letter? There's a single window, far out of reach, in the chamber at the top of the tower. A dove flew in through the window, and so she wrote a letter, tying it to the bird's leg, and releasing it in the hope someone would come to set her free. That letter ended up in my hands. If that's the case, then who locked her up? Was it the Saintess? The one I know? No, I don't believe the nun is aware. I think she's simply doing her job in good faith. Then who... Mikkel? I know very well that what I'm about to say will likely crush her, but I can't let that stop me. Who would do such a terrible thing? Nellie, I want you to brace yourself for what I'm about to say. There are 3 men participating in Morgana's imprisonment. And one of those 3 is your brother, Mel. I understand that that's the last thing you wanted to hear, but please believe me, I would not say something so upsetting lightly. I wish to save Morgana, the true saint. And I would like your assistance. Without your help, I can't get her out of that tower. I need you to get through to Mel. Otherwise, both he and Morgana will remain untrapped. That's not true. Nellie. You're lying. You have to be. My Mel would never do something so horrible. You're a terrible liar. It's true. I swear to you. You think I'm gonna believe that? My Mel's an amazing, wonderful person. He's not cruel and evil. He's good and kind like a prince. And a prince would never lock someone up. I know you're not blind, Nellie. You can see that all your prince talk has been putting pressure on him. So? You think that's gonna change my mind? He has no reason to do any of that. But he does, Nellie. He's certainly not happy about it, no, but he's doing it for you. What do you mean? He needs her blood to keep you healthy. So, to ensure he always had a supply. But no, And despite that, Saint's blood probably doesn't even have healing properties. No one benefits from doing this. Not you, not Mel, and certainly not Morgana. And I don't think anyone can stop him except you. Mel won't listen to me. Did you not just say you would talk things through with him? Just shut up. Stop talking already. I'm done listening to you. Nellie. I'll never believe you. You're not my brother anymore. You're just a horrible, horrible man. Oh, damn it. Status lost. Who do you think you are to march in here and try to make my Mel into the bad guy? And after I made you my second brother? What's wrong with you? I trusted you. I ate nasty pie and had tea with you. But you're just a mean, evil man here to turn me against my Mel. I know you don't want to believe me, but I'm telling you the truth, every word. I beg you to open your eyes. Ask him yourself. If you don't believe me, then ask Mel about Morgana. I guarantee you he'll panic. Enough already. Get out of here. Get out this instant. Nellie. Don't say my name. Just go away. Get out of here. Now. I don't want to see you ever again. I should have chased you out the moment I saw you. Get out now. I pray you can find it in yourself to open your eyes and face the truth. Get out. One last thing before I go, Nellie. It was my only option, I know that. But I feel like all I accomplished by telling her was bringing her more pain. It's a difficult balance. We just have to pray that you're able to get through to her. I'm sure she'll come around. If only we had a little more time. 3 days, it'll all be over. Morgana and the entire web of people connected to her will die. It's not enough time. Let's return to the mansion and look for Mel. I'd like to speak with him. If there's a chance we can get even the smallest bit of Nellie's feelings through to him, maybe he'll have a change of heart. Hopefully. It's hardly going to be elegant, but it's what must be done. Dang. Did you just get back? The Saintess was telling me you went to see Nellie. What do you think? Sweet girl, isn't she? That she is. Though she can be a bit of a handful at times. I'm glad you could keep her company for a bit. Now, just to be sure, you kept a lid on all your crazy talk, right? About that. She treated me to some tea, nothing more. Ah, stuff with the flower petals in it, yeah? She thinks it's some kind of charm to make it taste better. Girls seem to have a thing for stuff like that. Mel. Could you spare a bit of time for me? We need to talk. Oh, sure. Can it wait a bit, though? I have to run a little errand after supper. When I'm done with that, I'll meet you in the room. Alright. You think the errand is bringing Morgana her meal, presumably? We might be able to catch the three of them opening the door if we trail Mel. Oh god, secret mission. It's too big a risk. Mel's already wary enough as it is. I concur. We don't know how the other two might react either. It's best to play it safe. No one's going to come to our defense if we're caught, not at this point in time. So we'd be better off waiting in our room. Agreed. Damn, not a secret mission. Though winter has receded and spring is well upon the land, there's still a sharp chill to the night air. Even with the windows shut, the wind still manages to slip through the cracks, making the candle flame waver. Neither Giselle nor I say much of anything. But nevertheless, when she does speak, the sound of her voice, soft and pleasant, relaxes my nerves. The faint sound of her breathing reminds me I'm not alone, and that she's there, always watching over me. When the candle's about half gone, the door swings open. Sorry it took so long. What do you want to talk about? You didn't bring anyone with you? No, I didn't. Who do you think I would bring? No one. I was just checking. Now, I'll get straight to the point. You're afflicted with a great deal of remorse, are you not, Mel? Pardon? I know what you're doing, what you're involved in. I know the girl at the top of the observation tower very well. Her name is Morgana, and you have her imprisoned in the tower. The door requires 3 keys to open, of which you possess 1. You need her for her miracle blood. How? I came here to stop you. How do you know any of that? It's not possible she could have told anyone. Did one of them tell you? No, it wasn't them. I was told all of this by Morgana herself. How could she? What I'm about to tell you is going to seem impossible, but every word of it is the truth. I'm not from this time. Many years after her death, Morgana's soul told me what happened to her. What? What are you even talking about? She's still alive. You're not from this time? What? Are you mad? Can you come up with any other explanation for how I would know everything I know? There's a single window in the room at the top of the tower, a small, insignificant thing that sits high upon the wall, and entirely useless for communicating with the outside world. In 3 days' time, during the Harvest Festival, Morgana will die. And I must prevent that from happening. Prevent it? To do that, I need your key. Will you give it to me? Okay, a terrible thing is going to happen in 3 days. You must give me the one of the 3 keys that is, in your mind, is the one thing that prevents you from this whole thing blowing up. Have I convinced you that I will not blow everything up? That's a tough sell. Huh. There you go, talking nonsense again. I warned you not to kick up any dust for your own sake, but I guess that didn't get through, huh? I don't care who you are, where you came from. All that matters is that you intend to stand in our way. What, did you think I was just a helpless little boy? That you could take my key without any trouble? Well, you'd be right about that. If it was only me, stealing my key and setting her free would be a trivial matter. But it's not only me. And the other two, they won't hesitate to kill you. Your life, anyone's life, means nothing to them. You don't know what they're like, how terrifying they can be. They're killers. I'll tell them everything you told me. I'll tell them you know our secret. And don't come crying to me when they come for you. I warned you. Is that what you want? Will you find the comfort you seek by being their devoted little slave and keeping Morgana imprisoned in that tower? What else can I do? If you feel at all ashamed about your part in this, if you want to do something to correct it, then you need to take that step. You can't fix this problem on your own, no. But I am here to help. I'm not ashamed about anything. Don't lie to yourself. Don't act like you know how I feel. What the hell is your deal anyway? You show up out of nowhere spouting all this "I'll save you" and I'm here to help rubbish. You need to do this for your sister. See, now that's ridiculous. If I wash my hands of this, I won't have access to the witch's blood anymore. And without that, Nellie can't get better. She'll die without that blood. Her blood has no miraculous healing powers. You only believe it does, making it appear to work. You're mad! Morgana's blood is not curing Nellie. In fact, it may very well be killing her. If you keep giving her that blood, Nellie will also lose her life during the Harvest Festival. What? You're standing on the precipice of a horrific tragedy, and you're going to take everyone down with you if you don't turn back now. What are you? All three of you are going to lose everything on the day of the festival, and there's only one way to prevent that. You have to set Morgana free. You're insane. If you think I would believe that Nellie's going to die, could you have told a more mean-spirited lie? You're the one who's trying to kill her. I'm just trying to save her. And you're going about it the entirely wrong way. Do you have any idea how lonely your sister is right now? You should be at her side. That's what you should be doing instead of stealing a poor girl's blood. I've heard enough. What do you know? If I lose Nellie, I'll have no one. My whole world will collapse. This is the only way I could keep that from happening. This was my best option. My only option. So no, I'm not going to stop. I'm going to keep Morgana locked up, and I'm going to keep stealing her blood. And I'll hand you over to the other two. I'll have them kill you. You'll regret ever showing your face. Mel, is that really true? What? Do you really have the Saintess locked up? Why? What are you doing here, Nellie? That man told me I had to talk to you, and he said if I didn't have the courage to do it myself, to wait outside his room tonight, because he... Oh, the perfect trap. He was going to get the truth from you. Damn. Betrayed. Oh, so that's... Okay. So that's what he must have told her at the very end when it faded to black and it, like, withheld some information. I was like, is the game intentionally doing that? Or was there, like... But now it makes sense. The final thing he said to her before he left was probably like, hey, I'm going to talk to your brother. You just listen in on the door. You conniving son of a... You were playing this all along. Mikhail bit playing 5D chess. Why would you tell Nellie? Why would you bring her of all people into this? Mel. Tell me, Mel, is it true? Nellie, Are you really keeping the Saintess prisoner and stealing her blood? And you said you would have him killed. I never thought you were such a terrible person, Mel. Damn. Can't believe you would do such despicable things. No, you're not my brother anymore. Damn, she lost both her brothers. In one day. Nelly! Mikhail, go after her. Oh, buddy. Wait, is it gonna make me pick a thing? Wait, really? Stay here, go after. I mean, Giselle told me to go. Giselle said, go after her. Now, is that a trap? Let's think. If I stay, I'm right next to Mel. If I leave Mel behind, and that might be a problem for us. You know what I'm saying? If I leave... But if I go after Nelly and that's a bad choice, and something bad happens, I can blame Giselle. It's always good to blame the woman. In situations like this. As far as I understand, if someone else tells you and then it goes horribly wrong, you'd be like, hey, I just told me. We have to stop her. Bring her back. Oh boy. I'm thinking that leaving Mel by himself is not the right call, but Nelly! Don't follow me, just go away. Leave me alone. Stop. If you run away from him now, Mel will never come back from this. Then why did you tell me? Why did you tell me what he was doing? If you hadn't said anything, everything would still be fine. We wouldn't be in this horrible mess. Yeah, she's going. It's better to be ignorant. Defense. If you hadn't said anything, I could have kept on believing in him. No, things wouldn't be fine. Why can you not see that? You shouldn't put your faith in your ideal brother, but your real one. The boy in that room stricken with regret. If I hadn't said anything, the facade would have ruined you both sooner or later. No, in truth, your relationship was already broken. You were simply ignoring the spreading cracks. I know, on some level, you had realized that Mel was keeping something incredibly important from you. And that secret was tearing you apart. There's nothing good about this, though. Now we'll never go back to the way we were. We can never go back to what it was like when we were kids. Just the two of us playing together every day, having fun. Everyone's childhood comes to an end. The flow of time is impartial. You cannot fight it. What you can do, what only you can do, is choose how you change. But... I will admit, I am the one who opened your wounds, and now I'm putting the responsibility of tending to them onto you. It's cruel, I know. But if you don't come to terms with Mel and make him withdraw his participation, even greater suffering awaits you far in the future. It's not over yet, and you cannot let this be where it ends. The bonds you formed over the years are not yet broken, and you can do what I was never able to. You can still repair your relationship. But I'm scared. Scared that my Mel could do such terrible things. That he could say he would kill you. He used to be such a good brother. He was always so kind, so friendly to everyone. But it was all a lie. It was all a big act to fool me. No, it was not all an act. There was truth to it. He is a kind-hearted boy, an ordinary young man, whose kindness was twisted by circumstance. And it doesn't matter how good a person someone is. Everyone has the potential to do terrible things when backed into a corner. You think you know everything? I know that much. Nelly, if you want your brother back, you have to act now. Please, you must take action. But I'm scared. What am I supposed to say to him? I don't know. I'll be there with you. You don't have to face this alone. There's more to this story than we've heard. We don't know how he got himself involved in this, and I mean to get the rest of it out of him. And you need to be there to hear it. If, when I hear what he has to say, I try to say something I shouldn't, if I try to say something that will ruin everything, you'll stop me? You're the one who told me to open my eyes and face him. You're the one who made this whole mess. What am I supposed to do if all this destroys everything I have? You said you'd be my brother, right? So be a good brother and help me out here. Promise me, you'll make sure nothing goes bad. You'll do that, won't you? Mikhail, just say yes. We won't let this go bad. Have faith in yourself. Faith that you put the relationship on track to recovering. Promise her. Give her the courage she wants from you. You have nothing to fear. I'll be there for you. I'll help you both. Okay, I'll do it. I'll go back. Thank you, Giselle. Oh, don't mention it. Now, let's go see what he has to say for himself. Let's draw back that curtain. Yes, let's. Curious what would have happened if I would have stayed in the room. Maybe it might have been. I mean, my guess is that what would have been is I just have a little session with Mel, and then we go to her, and then basically I tell him that he's got to talk with her, and then they maybe talk, and we get back to here. Curious. Oh well. Nellie. Mel, what did you come back for? To ridicule me? I'm not the brother you thought I was, huh? Not at all what you wanted me to be. It's all over. Everything Mikhail said is true. There's a girl imprisoned in the tower. A completely innocent girl. A girl who saved your life, in fact. Go on, tell me how cruel and terrible and evil I am. I'm no prince. Here's an idea. Why don't you make him your new prince? You can do it, Nellie. Ask him. You have your reasons, don't you? You have some reason for being a part of this, right? A reason? Yeah, I have a reason, alright. I wanted to save your life. I needed her blood to cure you, so I had her locked up. Tell me the truth. I don't remember much about when the Saintess came to visit, but I do remember a little. I remember her saying she would gladly give whatever she could to the sick and needy, which means you had no need to lock her up. It would seem the tale Morgana showed me was true. She really was a saint. Yes, she was. Tell me the truth, Mel. Tell me everything. There's nothing to tell. There is, I know it. There's more to a story than just the facts. The things you thought, the things you felt, all are pieces that combine to make the whole story. Isn't that right, Mikhail? You're exactly right. If you hadn't said anything, could have gone on with our lives as normal. No, Mel, we couldn't have. I thought so too at first, but it's not true. Our normal lives ended long ago. Tell me the truth, Mel. No matter what it is, I can handle it. No, Nellie, you can't. A girl like you who dreams of becoming a princess couldn't possibly bear to see how hideous her brother has become. How can I know if you don't say anything, though? That's how it's always been with us. You were nice to me, and that was all I needed. I never looked beyond the surface. I made you into my ideal brother, and I latched onto that image of you. You're a kind person, Mel, you really are. So kind you played along with my fantasy that you were a prince. But you don't have to act for me anymore. I want to know the real you. I'm all done being a princess. I'm just your little sister now, nothing more. Your one and only little sister, Mel. One and only sister, Mel. It made it sound, the way I read that, made it sound like I was saying she was Mel. You need to do this, Mel. You need to tell your story. Until you do, we have no way of understanding what you've been through, what you're going through. No way. If I tell you, you'll lose any hope you had left in me. As Nellie has, you need to release yourself from your own idealized fantasy, Mel. You have someone right here who will accept you for who you are. I know good and well just how hard it can be to have someone dear to you see a side of you that you didn't want to show them. I think you want to get it off your chest, though. And I think you want forgiveness. Fantasies are not everlasting. They all crumble eventually. Show us the real Mel. Tell us your story, without embellishments or omissions. Mel. Okay. I'll tell you. Not like I have any other options. Nellie, if at any point you can't bear to hear anymore, so be it. You're free to leave whenever you like. I won't go anywhere. I can almost guarantee you. I pray that ends up being true. Alright, here goes. The whole story, from start to finish, of how I ended up in this mess. Flashback, 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 flashback. A flashback within a flashback. Flashbackception. Until around the time I turned 17, my life was mostly uneventful. On days when it was nice out, I would take walks around the house's grounds, sometimes napping beneath a tree. It was picturesque, and you were always there with me. You have the same flax-colored hair as me, but yours always seemed to glisten in the sun, whereas mine is flat and dull. You shone like a tiny little dancing sun. At the time, I assumed that was how life would always be. I almost added another word there. I genuinely wanted it to be. Following my 17th birthday, though, I was met with a deluge of changes. First, Father fell ill and passed away shortly thereafter. With his death came the question of who would be the next head. As the oldest son, normally it would fall on me to take his place. I was 17, by all means enough of an adult to handle things myself. Or well, that's what I thought, anyway. Nobody else did, though. After discussions I had no part in, it was decided that my uncle would be the next head. That they weren't confident I had the spine to do the job properly. I wasn't sure what to think. Part of me wanted to know why nobody bothered talking to me. Part of me was relieved. Somewhere inside, I knew I didn't have what it took. So I was more than happy to let someone else take that responsibility. If it meant I could go on with my quiet life, I didn't care who they picked. My uncle, though, seemed to have caught on to my apathy, which he did not take kindly to, and in response, he formally disowned me. You're not the only one who still had some growing up to do, Nellie. I wasn't quite the adult I thought I was either. Fortunately, if you want to call it fortune, I was given enough money to live on for a decent length of time, as well as a place to stay. It was a small house, far from home, his way of making it hard for me to come back. Not that I had any intention of returning, but the best thing to come out of it all was you coming with me, Nellie. So this is our new home, dearest Mel. Yep, so it is. It's amazing how little there is. No big yard, no paintings, no vases filled with colorful flowers, no silver bowls full of fresh-picked fruit. But there is, you and me. You're not going to go and say you want to return home in a couple months when you realize life isn't as luxurious here as it was back there, are you? There's only one thing in the whole world I really need. Oh? Honestly, I can live without shiny shoes and pretty dresses like Mother wears. I don't need composers to come and write me songs for my birthday. As long as I have the one thing that matters most to me, I can do without anything else. Are you saying... I'm as happy as I've ever been. I don't need all that fancy expensive stuff. We may not have a huge yard, but the sun shines everywhere. Flowers can grow even without a gardener tending to them. Nellie, I'll do whatever I can for you, dearest Mel. Are you hungry? I'm hungry. Oh, yeah, a bit. Alright, I'll make something then. Start off with some fruit jam, then maybe make a pie out of it. What else sounds good? I'm craving cookies. You've got quite the sweet tooth. You're gonna make yourself sick like that. That's the first smile I've seen since we got here. What? That can't be right. I'm sure I've been smiling. Nope, you've been frowning all day. Whatever you say. Forget about all that stuff at home. We've got each other. We can do this. Who cares that we're not rich anymore? We'll figure things out in no time. And then we'll have even more fun than we did back there. Yeah, you're right. It'll all work out, dearest Mel. I'll always be here for you. You got yourself an adorable little princess. What more could you possibly need? Cheer up. Thanks. I'm really glad you decided to come with me. Oh, did you think for a second I wouldn't? I'm your princess, dearest Mel. And princesses belong with their princes. I suppose so. Until that day, I'd never known how good it felt to have someone who wanted me in their life, who saw me for me. I realized for the first time how blessed I'd always been. I was hardly prince material. I wasn't strong or handsome or regal enough for that. But Nellie calling me her prince gave me the illusion of being worth something. It made me feel like I could keep on being that richly blessed young man, even this far away from home. While I'd been given some money, my supply was far from infinite. I knew I would eventually have to find some kind of work, some way to support myself and Nellie, but to be quite honest, I couldn't gather the motivation to do much anything. My whole life had changed so abruptly, so dramatically, that my mind just wasn't able to keep up. It had knocked me on my backside, and I didn't have the strength to get back up. I couldn't tell Nellie that, of course, so this is what I said instead. I'm staying home because I want to be with you as much as possible. And she happily took me at my word. Our new life together was quiet and unremarkable. Even so, it was still a constant stream of new experiences for the two of us, having been pampered our entire lives. Welcome home, dearest Mel. What did you buy today? I got a chicken. Wow, I've never seen one up so close before. One so up close before. Are we going to keep it as a pet? I was planning on using it for supper. What? You're going to cook it? That's the idea. You like chicken though, don't you? Steamed especially, if I remember right. Yes, but... But it's all covered in feathers and flapping about. Oh no. How are we supposed to cook it? If I remember, the guy said you have to pluck its feathers, then cut off its head and drain all the blood. Yeah. Ew, no way, absolutely not. Not in a million years. You do it, Mel. What? I've never done this before. Well, I'm not, so you do it. Alright. I'll bring it to the... Not inside, do it outside. Okay. Oh, God. I've never had to slaughter a chicken before. The chefs back home always took care of it. God, I hope I don't screw this up. Well, I'm not going to accomplish anything if I just sit here worrying. Just gotta give it my best shot. Oh, please. Please don't put up a fight. I can't watch. On the count of 3, okay? Count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Wait. Oh my God. Come back. No, you idiot. It's gone. You should have twisted the neck when you could have. Quickly. Oh no. At first, I was just fumbling about in the dark, constantly messing up everything I tried. But in time, I started getting more comfortable with things, and I stopped pining for my old life. For the longest time, I couldn't shake the memory of the fact that I had once been a noble. I was constantly wondering how I had ended up there, why this was happening to me. Nellie had seemed to have adjusted fairly quickly, but I wasn't faring so well. I was surprised, honestly. I figured if anyone was going to have an issue with our new lifestyle, it was going to be her, not me. Back home, Nellie had tended to be, well, a bit of a princess. She was frequently harsh with the Abigails, scolding them for the smallest of things. There were times I thought she might be biting her tongue for my sake, but every time it crossed my mind, she would say, "I've got you, dearest Mel. Everything's just fine." And it was those words that kept me going. Oh, dearest Mel, I just had the most wonderful idea. Would you like to hear it? Sure. What's your idea? We should get married. What? You can't be serious. As serious gets. I mean, we're basically married already in everything but name. We can't do that. We're siblings. Nobody here needs to know that. They can guess from our hair and eye color, though. I don't think we look that much alike. Anyway, whatever gave you that idea. If we get married, then we can be together forever. We can do that just as well as brother and sister. It's not the same, though. No one ever says two siblings lived happily ever after. I want to be with you for the rest of my life, dearest Mel. And the best way to do that is to get married. But, Nellie, what are you so hesitant for? Is there someone you pine for? No, but... Then there's no problem. We're blood-related siblings. Does she realize that getting married means eventually having children? Okay, whoa, and everything that leads up to that? That goes against the teachings of the Lord. No, she's still just a kid chasing after a fairy tale ending. She doesn't understand the reality of what she's saying. Sometimes I'm not sure what to do with you, Nellie. So you'll marry me? But right now, I know you need God's word. Starting tonight, you're getting your own private sermon every night. Understand? Yeah, put her on religion. That'll help it. Blech. Blech. God says no. Don't marry your sibling. My instruction was as much for my own sake as it was for Nellie's. I'm not going to lie. The thought did cross my mind that her proposition might not be so... Sorry. Sorry. It did cross my mind that her proposition might not be so bad. For one, I couldn't imagine spending the rest of my life with anyone else, and it had been her smile that kept me going when things got difficult. Mel, come on, man. Just come the fuck on. But I knew that it was a sin, and I didn't think I would be able to live with myself if I crossed that line. So night after night, I taught her, reminded her that we were brother and sister, and that we didn't have to do anything more for her to be the most important person in the world to me. And after about our 3rd month away from home, that life began crumbling. Nellie woke up one day with a high fever that refused to break. At first, I thought it was just a cold, and that she'd be over it soon enough. But as much as I tried to convince myself, oh, she'll be better tomorrow, she just kept getting worse, till eventually she couldn't even get out of bed. She had visibly lost weight, and I'd never heard her voice so weak and lethargic before. Is there anything you'd like me to get you, Nellie? All I want is you to be here with me, dearest Mel. You really should eat something. I'll make something you like. How about a nice, expensive chicken? Because the first one went so well. The last one got away, but I won't let that happen this time. I'm not really in the mood for anything too heavy. Oh, okay. Don't you worry, Mel. I'll be better before you know it. Yeah, you will. You'll be just fine. Everything's going to be back to normal soon. Mm-hmm. Watching Nellie grow weaker every day scared the hell out of me. I desperately did not want to lose her. If I lost her, then who would be left that wanted me? Who would tell me I was worth something? Who would say nice things about me? Who would be there with me every day? Just when I'd started to feel optimistic about this new life, started to feel comfortable in it, it was looking like it might fall apart again. I searched everywhere for some medicine that could cure her. Healthy foods, fruits and vegetables with supposed medicinal properties, anything I could get my hands on. I prayed. And Nellie, you were overjoyed. You were thrilled I would go to such lengths for you. But the reality is, I was really doing it for myself. But as much as I searched, I couldn't find anything that worked, and I started to panic. I would go to bed at night afraid I'd wake up the next morning, and Nellie wouldn't. I was already grasping at straws, and was ready to try anything that had even the slightest chance of curing her. And then one day, I heard whispers. Whispers of a witch who lived by the lake. They said she was a recluse, that she hardly ever left her house, and that she hadn't been down to the city in years. They told me she might have some medicinal herbs that could help, so I rushed down to the lake to see her. Sitting by the shore was a small cottage, even less luxurious than where Nellie and I were living at the time. Seeing the thin trails of smoke rising from the chimney, I was convinced the rumors were true. A witch lived in that house. I wasn't sure what to expect. Being a recluse, I figured she wasn't going to be very sociable, at least. To tell you the truth, I was kind of scared to knock on her door, but I'd exhausted all my other options, so I clenched my teeth and gave the door 2 firm raps. "Who's there?" The sound of her voice caught me off guard, and all I could do was stare at the door with a knot in my throat. Based on the information I had, I'd assumed I was going to find a wrinkly old woman, but that was the voice of a young girl. And even though she'd only said 2 words, there was something indescribably enchanting about that voice. I could listen to her talk for hours on end, in some kind of strange, hypnotic trance. It was almost like magic, for lack of a better word. I stood there, dumbfounded, like my soul had been sucked from my body. "Who's there?" She repeated her question, which brought me back to reality, though I still had to fight to maintain my wits enough to respond coherently. "My sister has fallen very ill, and she desperately needs medicine. I was told that the person who lives here is a skilled herbalist. Could I please get something to treat her?" "What are her symptoms?" She's got an extremely high fever that won't come down. She has no appetite. She's only drinking water, and she can't get out of bed." "We're going to want to lower her fever first. After that, get her on a nutritious diet. I'm going to give you 2 medications. Give her the first while her fever's high, and the second after it's come down." "Thank you very much." Her voice wasn't bright and energetic like Nellie's. It was more restrained, somber and quiet, yet simultaneously clear and sharp. The sound tickled my curiosity. I wanted to know what she looked like. I wanted to know what kind of girl stood on the other side of that door. With a voice that pretty, she must be equally lovely, I thought. And I had to see it for myself. And my wish didn't fall on deaf ears. When she opened the door to hand me the herbal medicine and take my money, her head peeked out between the crack ever so slightly. I said I would tell you everything, exactly as it happened, so I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. It was unsettling. It was nothing like I'd imagined from her voice. Her skin had, I guess, fallen off or something, because you could see the raw, red flesh beneath. To say it was hard to look at would be an understatement. Most of her face was covered by a black hood, so all I could see was her mouth and chin, but even that much was harrowing. But the last thing I wanted to do was look away. For all I knew, that was why she had become a recluse, and I couldn't let myself hurt her, so I suppressed my own disgust and put on my best smile. People often tell me I have a very pleasant, amiable smile, so I figured I could use that to prevent her from picking up on what was actually going through my mind. And when she saw my face, a look of surprise seemed to cross hers. "Be nice to Morgana." The witch's herbs did, indeed, seem to help some. Going to visit her was better than talking to any of the local doctors. Nonetheless, Nellie hadn't been cured. She was only feeling a little bit better. So I kept paying the witch visits, kept purchasing more herbs from her, and every time I went to that cottage and heard her sweet voice, I imagined how much sweeter it would sound without a door obstructing it. Even knowing what she looked like didn't stop the curiosity from growing within me. From what I gathered talking to her, there wasn't much of an age difference between us either. She was 16 and I was 17. And I'm sure you know how it is. When you meet someone around your age, you feel a sort of sense of kinship. This girl I had originally believed to be some kind of otherworldly witch was starting to feel like a regular person like me. Through our conversations, I managed to learn her name, as well as the fact that she had come here from a faraway country. We were both a long way from home. Thinking she might open up even more to someone who'd been through a similar experience, I decided to try inviting her to go on a walk with me. "It's not healthy to stay holed up inside all the time. You've got this beautiful lake right here. What do you say we take a little walk around the shoreline?" To my surprise, she accepted. "Great weather, isn't it? I love the way the sun reflects off the surface of the lake. It's gorgeous." Are you okay?" "I'm in disbelief, to tell you the truth." "Huh? What for?" "You've seen my face. You know how hideous I am, and still you invited me on a walk. You're a very peculiar person." Is it really that strange? I mean, we're almost the same age, so I figured we might make pretty good friends." You want to make friends with me? Well, sure. We've been through a lot of the same things, so we can understand each other better than most. Understand each other? Yeah, we're both young, but we've been through some rough times. I'm going to be blunt with you. You have not been through anything like I have. What? No? If you had experienced the things I have, you wouldn't be smiling right now. I haven't known you long, but I don't need to have in order to know how unequivocally dissimilar we are. That we were cut from a very different cloth. Well, yeah, we're people. We're not made of cloth, so... That's not what that means, you know. Dumb. Oh. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be so harsh. In fact, I would say you're much better off not being in my position. Sounds like you've been through a lot. If you don't mind me asking, what happened to you? I'd be happy to lend an ear. It might make you feel better to get it off your chest. And that is what's so different about us. Huh? I will not tell you about myself, no. That said, I do appreciate the concern. Thank you. Oh, sure. You're welcome. She's not very open with people, huh? Though I guess that's only to be expected. She hasn't spent much time around other people, looking the way she does. I wonder if there's anything I can do for her. At least get her to show a little bit of emotion. Say, if it's not too much to ask, you think we could maybe do this again sometime? Don't expect me to lower my prices. I'm not trying to squeeze a better deal out of you. I just want to get to know you better. Nothing more to it. No ulterior motive, promise. Did you forget? I've already said I won't be telling you about myself. Alright, then it doesn't have to be about you. We can talk about anything, whatever you want. Do you have a favorite food? Any hobbies? Nothing in particular. Alright, well, good talk. Well, that was a fruitful conversation. Okay, crap. I have no interests or tastes worth mentioning, so if you want to talk, suppose that leaves you to be the subject. Me? Tell me about yourself. My life's not all that exciting. Anything I had to tell you would probably just bore you. I'm not looking for excitement. Okay. Well, alright then. I guess I can tell you about myself. And so I did. I told her all about my family situation, and I told her about Nellie, and that was pretty much all I had to talk about. For the most part, she hardly even reacted to anything I said, so it was difficult to tell if she was listening or not. But she would urge me to continue whenever I'd go quiet for more than a few moments, so I suppose she was listening. Every time I came to purchase more medicine, we'd go on a walk around the lake together. A single loop around the shoreline didn't give us much time to talk, but my attempts to reduce our walking pace or stop to extend our time together were flatly ignored. And she refused to go around more than once, claiming it would disturb her daily rhythm. That said, she never refused an invitation either, so I don't think she particularly disliked me. Yet, anyway. Ooh, a robin. What does a robin have to do with your sister? Nothing, I just saw one over there. If you listen, you can hear it singing. They migrate somewhere warmer when it gets cold. They just fly off to someplace more comfortable. If I had wings like a bird, maybe I could be free too. There's not a single creature living in this world that is free. What? Birds regularly get shot down by hunters or preyed on by larger birds. Okay, you're really fun to talk to. The idea that they are free is nothing more than man's short-sighted delusion. Sorry, I guess. No, I should be apologizing. I wasn't trying to attack you. I simply lack the ability to properly empathize with others. I do not understand people. So please, if I say anything that upsets you or makes you uncomfortable, don't assume that was my intention. Sure. Maybe you're hiding it, or maybe you just don't know it yet, but I think you've got more empathy than you're letting on. Surely you can't say nothing affects you at all. You are human. So you don't have to be so closed off. I might not be able to do much for you, but I do want to get to know you better. I want to understand you. So if you ever feel like talking about yourself, just know that you've got an eager pair of ears here. Ears, hair, here, ears, here. Okay. If there were ever someone who could understand me, who could empathize with me, they would not be human. What? What do you mean? That you would need to be far removed from any idea of humanity to have a chance at understanding me. God, you're so moody. God. Miserable person. I'm being so critical. Understand, like, the game is trying to, it's really hammering home. She's lived a terrible life up to this point. She maybe has reason to, like, be not a happy camper kind of thing. But God, he's like, oh, this is annoying. Regardless, I do appreciate your kind words. Sure. So, out of curiosity, do you have anyone, really important to you in your life? Not at the moment. Does that mean you used to? I'd love to hear about them, if you don't mind. Yeah, I'd be the same if I was a teenager without a face. Oh, man. I mean, it gets to a point where it's like, if she truly didn't want to talk to this boy, she wouldn't have come out and been taken around the lake, right? So clearly she wants the attention, she wants the hangout, she appreciates it. So then it just is that funny thing where it's just like, all right, well, you clearly wanted to, you want to hang out with me, so stop being like this. Stop making it so difficult. The act can be dropped, all right? At least up until this point, Mel has not been an asshole to her, you know? They're all long dead. 4 years ago, something unpleasant occurred. And as a result of that, I was forced to part ways with the people who taught me that humans have the capability for kindness. Oh, I'm sorry. Well then, if your sister's condition worsens again, come see me. Farewell. Hey, maybe we could walk a little slower next time, so we have more time to talk? I want to get to know you better. I'll consider it. Does it really require that much thought? So long. Bye. See you soon. Things continued on like that for a while. Nellie bounced back and forth between getting better and getting worse. Emotionally, I followed not far behind, getting very little in the way of peace of mind. Having to spend so much time worrying over and looking after Nellie was starting to wear me out, even though I knew good and well she had it much worse than me. I wanted to be done with it all. I wanted to be free. I wanted her to get better as soon as possible, so I could stop agonizing over her. So at some point, I started wishing for a miracle. I didn't care if it came from God, an angel, or something less holy. Devil himself, Satan. I just wanted someone to cure Nellie and take the weight off my shoulders. And during one of our walks, I let that slip. I'll take anything at this point to make her better. I'll even take a miracle if I can get one. I assumed she would, as she had a tendency to say that people who believed in miracles were delusional. She was, in my mind, very much a realist, which is why her response surprised me so much. Do you sincerely wish for a miracle? What? Do you truly want a miracle, no matter what form it may take? Well, yeah. I've tried everything else. God is all I can ask for help anymore. I know what you're going to say. There's no such thing as miracles. If there were, Nellie would already be better. I've prayed every single night for her recovery. It's all just a delusion. I know. Miracles do exist. What? If you have faith, and you sincerely wish for her to be healed, you'll be granted your miracle. What are you talking about, Morgana? You've said it many times that you wish to know more about me. Yeah, I have. Well, I'll grant you that wish. As you listen to my story, you will come to understand why I said you will never be able to empathize with me. And as you do, hope will sprout up within you. Here in my lakeside cottage, I am known as a witch, but I did not used to be called such. No? I am the daughter of God. Most people would dismiss such a claim as madness, and I almost did exactly that, but there was something strangely enchanting about her voice, and I found myself slowly drawn into her tale, listening intently to her every word. The more I heard, the harder it was to believe she was lying, and before long, I was convinced she was the daughter of God, a saint whose blood had miraculous powers. Her first cry ended a lengthy drought in the village where she was born, and her blood cured the sick. She rolled up one sleeve to show me her arm. Practically every inch of skin from her shoulder to the tips of her fingers was scarred from where she had been cut. According to her, the scarring had once been far worse, but had improved with the application of ointment. Every single one of those scars, she said, marked a person who had sought her blood, and I believed every word. There was something about her that set her apart from the rest of us normal people, like she was some higher being. They were not self-inflicted wounds, not the marks of someone who had tried to take her own life, but symbols of the great sacrifices she had made. She offered to give Nellie her blood, and without a moment's hesitation, I accepted. Oh, it's a creepy music. Creepy chanting music. Mel? Hey, Nellie, I'm back. And I brought someone with me. A saint. A saint? Yep, she's here because medicine hasn't been working for you. She can perform miracles, so she's going to cure you. Miracles? That's right, her blood has miraculous healing powers. Blood? Fear not, my beloved sister. Hear my words and do as I say. You must have faith for the miracle to be performed correctly. I give you my blessing, that I may bestow unto you salvation. I give you my love, and I give you relief. Hear my words. I hear them. This body was created not in a mortal womb. This flesh is not the flesh of man. This blood is not the blood of man. The water that flows through these holy veins flows from the river of creation. Have mercy on them, O Father. May the infirm find comfort in your warmth. May the destitute find reprieve in your generosity. May my flesh bring nourishment and health unto this girl. Bestow upon her your blessing, O Father. Morgana held a pale hand above Nellie's mouth and, without hesitation, sliced her own wrist. If you're squeamish, mute me. Blood slowly trickled down her middle finger from the cut, dripping into the gap between Nellie's bluish lips. I stood there entranced by the scene. It was like I was witnessing some kind of ritual. I wasn't sure, however, whether to describe it as sacred or profane. Watching the fresh blood trickle from the cut on her wrist made me break out into a sweat, feeling like I was violating a taboo. My knees rattled and I could barely stay on my feet. Needles pricked my hands. Thoughts slipped through my fingers before they could fully form. Had I crossed a line that wasn't meant to be crossed? Had I stepped into territory man was never supposed to enter? In time, I stopped processing Morgana's prayer as words. It became nothing but a rhythmical sequence of sounds bouncing around in my head. My line of sight grew gradually narrower. What? Are you alright? The ceremony is complete. How's Nellie? She's asleep right now, but she should awaken soon. Oh, good. My blood has a power to cause miracles, but you must remember that the miracle is predicated on your faith. So are you saying we need to worship you? No, I'm merely God's progeny. Your praises and prayers should be directed at my Father, the Lord God. I should get going then. Hey, thank you very much. When Morgana had said I would never be able to understand or empathize with her, she had not been lying. Having only heard her tell of it, I'd still believed there was room for me to close the gap between us. That we still had enough in common. But seeing with my own eyes, feeling it with my entire being, I no longer had any illusions of us being on the same plane. As I gave her my thanks, my voice was audibly trembling. Mel, come on, get up, dearest Mel. Oh, Mel. Nellie? Ah, finally, you're awake, sleepyhead. What's with the look? Am I making a funny face? Are you good to be up and about? Yup, I woke up this morning feeling wonderful. Feel my forehead, Mel. See? No fever. It's the miraculous power of placebo effect. Works wonders. It's gone. She actually performed a miracle. I only remember bits and pieces, but I remember a really pretty saint lady showing up and giving me her blood. That's how she remembers it. Her memory is pretty hazy, huh? And then I got this warm and fuzzy feeling inside me that I had this really strange dream. What kind of dream? There were a whole bunch of lights floating all around me, and they were changing in all sorts of different colors. It was the most wonderful dream. That doesn't help me understand at all, Nellie. It was a good dream, and that's what matters. It must have been the saint lady's power at work. Must be, yeah. I'm so relieved you're feeling better, Nellie. Sorry for all the trouble I caused you, but now everything can go back to normal. Yep, all back to normal. All back to normal. She wants to thank me? Yeah, Nellie's insisting I let her meet you so she can show her gratitude. So if it's alright, would you mind coming to supper sometime? That would probably not be wise. Huh? Why not? It would hardly be pleasant having to eat in the presence of a face as grotesque as mine, and I doubt your sister would react well to the sight of it. I don't think it would cause any problems. Nellie isn't the kind of girl to judge someone by their looks. I don't think. Perhaps not, but to her, I'm a saint, not a normal person. In her mind, she thinks I'm beautiful, doesn't she? We must maintain that illusion. It is essential to the miracle that her faith remains unwavering, and on some level, that faith depends on her idealized image of me. You think so? Though our time together was brief, I could see it in her. She is a girl with a great love of beauty. And perhaps the same could be said of you. I don't judge people by how they look. It's what's inside that matters. I'll take you at your word. Thanks. So, are you sure you don't want to come? I really shouldn't. I'm terribly sorry. Oh, okay. Why in the world am I feeling relieved? Nellie recovering was a huge weight off my shoulders. Now, everything could go back to the way it was, quiet and unremarkable. I could finally go out and get a real job, forget about my old life, live like a regular old commoner. That was what I was going to do for the both of us. The problem was, Nellie hadn't actually recovered completely. She was in nearly perfect health the first few days after drinking Morgana's blood, but soon her fever came back. She stopped being able to get out of bed, and to top it all off, she started having lengthy coughing fits. During some of them, she coughed up little bits of bloody phlegm. I nearly had a panic attack, so I rushed down to Morgana's cottage and told her what was happening, to which she responded with a quizzical tilt of her head. Nellie's health meant everything to me. It certainly wasn't the curiosity her head tilt seemed to make it out to be, but it didn't seem to bother her at all. The miracle took place, but it didn't persist? That doesn't make much sense. But it's true, she can't get out of bed. And it's not a problem with her faith. I've been teaching her the word of God every night, and she absolutely believes in you and her saint. Lower your voice. I will perform another miracle for her. You'll do it again? I will not forsake those who are in need. And it'll stick this time, right? cannot promise anything. But why? Your miracles aren't supposed to be temporary, are they? Whether they are or not is decided by you and your sister. You're my only hope, though. Please do not worry. If a second blessing is not enough to cure her of her ailment, then I will visit and give her my blood as many times as is necessary. I will gladly give her every last drop of blood in my body. I assure you, my father does not want to see two young souls like yourselves torn apart, and neither do I. We should get going. All right. Yay, more blood. For the second time, Morgana had Nellie drink of her blood. And for the second time, she was healthy again the next morning. And for the second time, she fell ill again shortly thereafter. Her fever returned. I went to get Morgana, and she gave Nellie her blood. The cycle repeated again and again, and every time I had to watch her go through that ceremony. It was exhausting, and I wasn't sure I could handle it much longer. I started thinking maybe there wasn't anything sacred about any of this, but it was all as blasphemous as it looked from the outside. I was making a girl cut her own wrist and feed my sister her blood. Nothing about that sounded right, but I had nowhere else to go, no one else to ask for help. When I was with Morgana, listening to her words of reassurance, she, without fail, wiped all the doubts I had. It wasn't until after she left that the wave of regret hit me. I wasn't sure what was right and wrong anymore. I wasn't sure what to do anymore. Every time I went to see Morgana, it got more and more difficult to look her in the eye. I stopped asking her on walks as often, and I stopped trying to have chats with her, not so much out of a sense of guilt, but because I was getting to be afraid of her. One of those draining days, someone knocked on the door. I hadn't asked Morgana to come down that day, so I wasn't sure who it could be. Nellie was asleep in her bed, so I quietly rose from my seat and made my way to the door, trying not to wake her. Who is it? Hello? Who's there? I had an inkling of suspicion, but having been raised in such a sheltered environment, I didn't understand exactly how dangerous it was to thoughtlessly open the door to anyone who came knocking. It's like the second or third time in this game where someone just opens their door without actually, like, trying to screen or, like, be like, oh, maybe I shouldn't open the door this time. Bad mistake. Never open your doors. Always keep doors closed. Don't open them for anyone, honestly. Everyone stay indoors. Don't open for anyone. That's my advice. I pulled the door inward a couple inches and tried to take a peek through the crack, when out of nowhere someone grabbed my shoulder and shoved me, helpless to resist, into the house. A man stood there above me. Oh, snap! It's the swordsman. What do you think you're doing? What do you want from me? I don't have anything valuable. I'm just a regular old peasant. I'm not here to rob you. What? You're in contact with the witch, are you not? Huh? The girl who lives by the lake calls herself a witch? Witch? I don't know any witch. The only one who lives here is a saint. A saint? I was told she was a witch. But regardless, there's a girl who lives there with miracle blood, no? Looks like I've got the right person. What? What do you want from me? I want you to help me. Huh? I need you to lure the witch out into the open. And why do you need that? Because I need her blood. I need to get my hands on the witch's miracle blood. Then go ask her for yourself. Why should I have to help you? She won't open the door for me. But you, I've seen you talking to her. You seem to be quite friendly with the witch. Taking little walks around the lake. How? I need your help. And what are you going to do once you have her outside? I have orders from the Lord to take her captive. What? The Lord? Why would he? That is none of your concern. You expect me to buy that? All I need from you is to get the witch out of that house. Why would I? She doesn't trust me. I could always force my way in, but there's a chance something might go wrong, and I can't risk that. If she hears your voice, she'll open the door, yes? The witch trusts you, unlike me. With your help, there's no risk of anything going wrong. You barge in here and tell me you want to capture her, and you think I'm just going to agree to help? Like hell I will. Oh, don't worry. You'll get your share. You need the witch's blood too, right? I don't care about getting a share. You're asking me to deceive her. I don't care what you think she is. She hasn't done anything wrong, so no, I won't help you capture her. You leave me no choice then. He approached the bed where Nellie slept, drawing his sword and pressing the tip against her throat. Damn. I mean, I'm not surprised, but damn. The threat. It happened so quickly and without any warning, my mind couldn't keep up. I stood there, mouth half open like an idiot. If I were courageous, if I were gallant and brave, then maybe I would have grabbed him, pulled him away from Nellie. But my legs seemed to be severed from my mind. They were frozen to the floor like two useless rocks. You have two options. Either you say no and protect the witch. Get away. Or you help me capture her. Get away from her right now. And if you choose the witch, I kill the girl. Get away. Make your decision. Get away from her. You have until the count of 10. If you don't choose, I kill the girl. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Okay, I'll do it. I'll help you. Just get your sword out of her face. Don't kill her. I thought you'd hold out until the last second. Well, what are you waiting for? Let's get going. Get moving. You pitiful little boy. Don't call me a pitiful little boy. I said we'd go. I felt like jumping into a lake. I couldn't make sense of how I had ended up in such a position. Just a few months earlier, I had been living back at my family's estate, hardly a worry in the world. Nellie had been healthy and happy. It hadn't been exciting, no, but I had figured that was how things would always be. That one day, I'd fall for some noble girl, Nellie would get jealous, and I would have to spend several days or even weeks pacifying her. Everyone would be happy, a life free of troubles. Because I was normal, and I was normal. So what was I doing living in some tiny cottage so far from home? Feeding my sick sister miracle blood? What was I doing walking beside this barbarian? What was I doing at all? I was conflicted. Part of me hoped we would never arrive at the lake, and part of me wanted to get there as quickly as possible so I could be done with all this. But time plodded on no quicker or slower than normal, and we arrived at Morgana's door in short order, irrespective of my own selfish hopes. The thought of what was going to happen next filled me with a crushing sense of guilt. I may have been afraid of Morgana, but I had no grudge against her. I was actually quite grateful to her. She was still healing Nellie, even if the ceremony to do so inspired fear in me. She didn't hesitate to cut her own wrist open for Nellie, and for me. She didn't grimace, or even frown, though I knew it had to hurt. I knew damned well she wasn't a bad person, that she hadn't done anything to warrant being taken into custody. She might very well have been a genuine saint, but there I was, selling her out because a man with a sword threatened me. Oh, Father who art in heaven, please forgive me for what I'm about to do. Please, please forgive me. Quit sniveling. You want her to get suspicious? But how? I can't, please, oh God. Stop crying. Or would you rather I kill you here? She's whimpering. Just close your eyes. It'll be over before you know it. Do it. Call on the witch. Knock, knock. 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 Who's there? It's me. I'm not here about Nellie today. I'm sorry for being so distant lately. I want to talk things over. I thought I heard a faint gasp through the door, and then she responded, I want to talk to you too. Why? Why did she have to want to talk now? She had always been so curt, so rational, so quick to cut down my fantasies. Never one to get emotional or sentimental. She had always given off the impression of being something greater than we were humans. Greater than we mere humans. Always been so aloof, never giving any indication she thought anything of me at all. So why does she sound like a normal girl now? Why was her voice trembling slightly when she said she wanted to talk? Why now, of all times? Oh, God. And then all hell breaks loose. Oh, my God. Graw. Graw. That escalated quickly. Get back. No. Stay away from me. No. Scream, saving my voice. Help. Don't kill me. Flashing lights there. Graw. Take it. What? That's your share. Should last you long enough. Why? Did you take my arm? Do you mean by share? Why? A lot of noises happening. It all happened in less than a minute. I told her I wanted to talk. She opened the door. Then I heard a sound like the wind whipping past my ear. And the next thing I knew, her cottage was covered in blood. Never once did I expect anything to happen and how it did. When he'd said he wanted to capture her, I took it to mean exactly that. I hadn't thought he would turn brutal. That he would do something so horrific. After the man cut her arm off, Morgana tumbled to the floor, floundering about as he watched, blood trickling down the curved blade in his hand. Her screams were indistinguishable from those of a normal person. Trying to read as best I can. Noises, more noises. Noise, erg. Arm, her arm. I would not. If the swordman handed me the severed arm, freshly severed arm of some lady, and I already felt bad about the situation, I'd be like, I'm not taking that. I'm not carrying this. I don't want this. I reject it. Kneeling in the grass at the lake shore, I vomited, and I vomited, and I vomited. The things I had seen in the cabin were far too much for me to handle. I tossed the arm, Morgana's arm, the man had given me, into the lake. What else was I supposed to do with it? It was an arm. A human arm. You would have to be insane to go around carrying someone's severed arm. I tried to convince myself it was all a dream, some terrible nightmare, but I could still feel the warmth of her skin fresh on my hands. The warmth of her blood on my fingers, dragging me back to reality. My mind couldn't keep up with the flood of thoughts and emotions and images. I wanted to close my eyes, but I was too afraid I would find the bloodbath in the cottage on the back of my eyelids, which left me with nothing to do but wail. I was horrified at what I had done. I knew that I was the one who had set it all in motion. If I'd kept quiet, Morgana wouldn't have had her arm cut off. But I didn't want to admit it was my fault. I didn't want to accept that I'd caused it. I did nothing wrong. It's not my fault. He threatened me. So it's not my fault. I had no choice. I didn't do anything. I frantically scrubbed my blood-soaked clothes in the lake. As I watched the red cloud spread, I knew I was defiling something pure and beautiful, but my awareness of that fact was slowly dissipating like the blood through the clear water. By the time I had gotten all the blood off my clothes, the sun was beginning to set. I came back to my senses at the sound of a bird chirping and quickly recalled that I had left Nellie alone at the house. My legs were shaking and I could barely keep myself upright, but remembering her gave me enough motivation to drag myself back home. If she hadn't been there waiting for me, I seriously might have thrown myself into the lake instead. Mel? For some reason I forgot. I was like, who's Nelly? Like, I had like a brain fart just for like 2 seconds there where I was like, who's Nelly? Oh boy, it's the end of week. What's the matter, dearest Mel? Where have you been? Mel? I'm so sorry. What? I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Will you ever be able to forgive me? Dearest Mel? I never meant for this to happen. I'm so sorry. Please, I'm begging you to forgive me. I'm begging you. Were you not able to get my medicine? Is that what you're crying about? It's not that big a deal, Mel. I'm just fine, honest. I'm all right. Thanks. I wanted to forget everything. I wanted to forget about my involvement, about the horrible things I caused to happen. But whenever I lay down to go to sleep, I heard her screams, Morgana's animalistic howls. I saw her cottage, blood splattered everywhere. I felt her severed arm still warm in my hands. From that day on, what sleep I got was hardly restful. Nellie probably didn't notice anything through her feverish haze, but I'm willing to bet I looked like hell. Praying time would cause the memory to fade. I started looking for doctors again. Instead of clinging to a miracle, I would try to have Nellie's sickness cured the way normal people did. At some point, though, all that money I'd been given started running low. If I'd thought about it for 2 seconds, I would have seen it coming. I hadn't exactly been frugal in my attempts to find a cure for Nellie, nor had I been especially concerned about money before she fell ill. I was so used to living like an aristocrat, and I hadn't succeeded in breaking those old habits, which left me with only one thing I could do for Nell. Be with her day in and day out. Every day that passed, I lost a little more hope. If I couldn't do anything and Nellie died, I'd be utterly alone. And that was what scared me more than anything. The nightmares were eating away at me, leaving me with nowhere to run. And if I didn't have someone there with me, I wouldn't have been able to hold myself together. After 3 or so days of me sitting by Nellie's bedside, hardly moving, there was a knock on the door. Who's there? Who is it? Open the door, unless you want me to kick it down. My suspicion was correct. I couldn't think of anyone else who would come visit, but what I didn't know was why he had come back. I don't want anything to do with you anymore. Open the door. Leave me alone, please. I want nothing to do with anything you're doing. Open the door. No, I'm not letting you in for any reason. Okay then, I'll break it down. Don't. My sister's inside sleeping. I don't need you waking her up. Then open it. What do you need? I did everything you asked me to already. What happened to the witch's arm? I threw it. I threw it away. You really think I was going to keep that? A person's arm? Mel, what's going on? Do we have a visitor? Nellie. I should get them something to drink. Don't worry about it, Nellie. You get some sleep, alright? Can we go outside? I'd really rather not talk in here. Fine by me. This guy's a nuisance. It's a problem. He's so rude. So that's your sister? Explains why you look so much alike. That's none of your damn business. You wanted the miracle blood to cure your sick sister, did you not? And you're telling me you threw the arm away? Are you interested in getting more blood? What? We're taking the witch's blood, turning it into medicine and selling it through the church. Selling it? You're doing business in House of Worship? No. I suppose we're technically giving it away, but we're asking for tithes, so really it's the same thing. I'm not from this land, so to me it looks no different than a business, but the people here, they see it as charity. The Lord says if you'll assist us, he'll provide you with the medicine we're making. The Lord? Why would the Lord be... Hell if I know, because it seems like good money. So, will you help us? You're gonna make me get my hands dirty for you again? I can't. Not again. Oh, right. Forgot to mention one detail. You don't have a choice this time. This time? I didn't have a choice last time. What it... Huh? You know about the miracle blood, which means we can't let you go unattended. If you say no, I have permission from the Lord to kill you on the spot. Why? So, will you help us? Or will you die here? What was the right thing for me to do then? Honestly? Well, you're looking after your sister. I was gonna say, if the sister element wasn't in there at this point, just my life sucks. Just kill me. It's fine. Just make it quick, please. That's all I ask, Mr. Swordsman. Just make it quick. Should I have fought back and died? Should I have tried to run? Should I have taken my own life? I'm sure you've heard enough to know by now that I'm a weakling, a pushover. I didn't have the spine to do anything but agree to meet with the Lord. He told me about the mansion, and he gave me one of a set of 3 keys. I wanted so badly to get rid of the key, but with that man's shadow constantly hanging over me, I couldn't bring myself to do it. Not when I could be the next one to end up losing a limb or 2. There was no way I could have disobeyed them. I mean, so ultimately it's like, should I feel bad for Mel in this situation? I mean, he's kind of forced into it. Taking care of his sister. He basically had no choice but to keep interacting with the witch, which then led to the other thing. I don't know. And that's everything that happened 6 months ago. Every day since I arrived here, I've brought Morgana breakfast and supper. She doesn't say anything, but I saw in her eyes the first time I stepped through that door. How could you do that to me? I've never looked her in the eyes since, because I'm too afraid of what I might see in them. Flashback over. And that is how I ended up here. Everyone with their ellipses. So he was threatened. He didn't actually want to cause Morgana harm. That doesn't excuse what he's done, though. See, what did I tell you? I'm not at all the brother you thought I was. Mock me. Ridicule me. Call me worthless, a coward, a terrible person. Go on. What are you waiting for? But you were threatened, Mel. He said he would hurt me, hurt you. That's the only reason you went along with him. You didn't do anything wrong, dearest Mel. The other man is the bad guy, not you. So I can already tell what probably is going to happen is when we reveal these stories as we get close to them and then get told the part of the story with the Morgana interaction that Morgana's not privy to because she obviously whatever. So we're going to probably get the swordsman guy story, and he also probably has, we've already kind of been told that we had the Lord is over him and probably presented some choice that didn't seem like much of a choice to then help his, like, the nun sister, right? So there's probably something at least somewhat similar-ish where he's like, well, I have to, I have no choice but to do these bad deeds because I'm presented like a choice thing that I can't choose the other option kind of thing. And I imagine that's how this is going to play out. Now, what's the Lord's excuse, though? I don't know. Who's above the Lord? The people are above the Lord that he serves. He needs to prevent a riot from happening. I don't know. You did the best you could. You didn't have a choice. That terrible man forced you to do everything. Nellie, you didn't do anything wrong, dearest Mel. No, I didn't. I didn't do anything wrong. I had no other choice. It's not true. All you're doing is closing your eyes. What? You mustn't coddle yourself. What was I supposed to do then? Don't be mean to my Mel. I think the second time I accidentally said Nell. Melly and Nell. Still can't get over the names. Did you really do the best you could? Did you, even once, try to do something about the situation, as hopeless as it may have seemed? Could you not even conceive of any other options? Could you not have come up with something else to say at Morgana's house? Something that might have given her even the slightest clue she was in danger. But... Damn. Mikhail fucking like, oh, you didn't try hard enough. Don't you feel bad, Mel? When she opened the door, did you do anything? Did you even so much as attempt to stop him? My legs were shaking so bad I couldn't move. I feel like Mikhail's like judging Mel for not like in one swift like ninja like move, like when they open the door, like grabbing the sword and slicing the fucking swordsman. Like, I feel like Mikhail's expecting a little too much given the whole thing, but there's no way I could have stopped him. Then at the very least, you shouldn't have fled. You should have stayed and told her the truth. That you weren't there willingly, and maybe she wouldn't have felt so utterly betrayed. But he was there. You think I could have actually stayed there with him? Not a chance. And it's not like Morgana would have... She opened the door because she trusted you. She isn't the easiest person to read, but she was opening up to you. And what did you do with that trust? Stop it. Please, you've made your point. It's not all Mel's fault either. If anything, he's a victim. He was just trying to protect me. Were you listening to anything he said, Nellie? You were not Mel's first priority. He did what he did for his own sake. I love Mikhail fucking trying to put these kids in their place. You didn't try hard enough. You're being bullied by someone older than you and you didn't try hard enough. Bad. Well, what did you expect me to do? Pull courage I don't have out of thin air? What's so wrong with self-preservation? There was nothing I could have done to stop him. I'd love to see you try and do any better. Then maybe you'll understand how scared I was. How little I could have done. Yeah, you do something, Miguel. It must be nice to be an outsider. Talk about my experiences like you know anything. Analyze my decisions. Go on about what I should have done. You don't have a damn clue how terrifying it all was. How I felt having to go through it. Oh yeah, you're right. Sure would be a courageous thing to do to sacrifice your life for someone else. But you know what? People like that only exist in stories. Except you don't actually understand that. You just want to give me crap for not being perfect. Do you want my pity? Is that all you want? If I tell you I feel bad for you and how hard it must have been, will that satisfy you? Do you not want to know what you can do now? What's even left to do? Nothing I do is going to make her situation any better. It won't make her arm come back. All is not yet lost. Open your eyes. Take a good, long look inside yourself. Think about what you can do. Stop sitting on your hands, telling yourself it's too late. There's still time to make a difference. You just have to commit to act. I don't think you're an especially bad or cowardly person. I think you're an ordinary young man. Might sound like I'm telling you to do the impossible. But soon, the time will come when you must make your choice. When you must stand up and take some responsibility for what you've done. No one's childhood lasts forever. The good days are long behind you before you even ever realize they've passed. When faced with the consequences of your actions, you should not have turned and run, but held yourself accountable. It is, perhaps, a disproportionately large burden for you to bear, but it's fast approaching, and you need to make a decision. Find your courage. Set Morgana free. Mel? Mel? But even if I open the door for her, it's too little too late. She'll never forgive me after. Is her forgiveness the reason you should act? No, it's penance for what you've done to her. Atonement for your sins. Whether she forgives you or not is beside the point. The question on the table right now is whether you are going to do the right thing. And what about her blood? Without Saint's blood, Nellie won't. You don't have to worry about me, dearest Mel. My life isn't so important that I want to take someone else's away to keep it. I'll think about what I can do to help too. It's partially my fault after all. So please, Mel, set the Saintess free. Your quiet life is built on a foundation of lies, and I know that by now, you've realized there's no real value in a life like that. You wanted to do something about this. You sought salvation. Salvation? But who would give it to me? I already told you I would. But why? Because I promised you. And you expect me to believe that? Yes. If you could choose to sit here and wallow in your regret, there's no going back. Now is your only chance to make a change. Mel? Oh, alright. Yeah, pressure that kid. Pressure that kid into helping us just like the swordsman pressured him. He told us a story where he was easily pressured. We know his weakness. Pressure him. Apply pressure. Get him to do what you want. Do it. Make him feel bad. Make him feel guilty. Talk about his sister. Just say his sister's gonna die or something. I'll help. I'll help you. Set her free. Dearest Mel. I knew all along that that was what I needed to do. But I could never bring myself to act on it. There's no way I could accomplish anything alone. I'm basically helpless on my own. Everything about this is so completely outside anything I've ever had to deal with before. So I had no way of having any idea what I was supposed to do about it. God can be pretty cruel. Why would he force a boy like me to make such a difficult choice? Yes, he can be. You were made to be part of a more normal, less tumultuous world. But you've come too far to go back to that. So the least you can do is change the world you're in now. Yeah. I doubt I need to remind you, but you can't get in with only my key. You need all three, and the other two. I don't feel an ounce of remorse. Taking their keys won't be easy. Easy or not, we have to get them. And I'm sure there's a way. There must be. Just so we're clear, you're not going to overpower them. The guy with the sword's much stronger than you, and he knows how to use a blade. And he's the Lord's bodyguard, so you're not getting near the Lord either. Even the two of us together wouldn't stand a chance against him. You seem pretty weak from the looks of you. Who knows? Maybe I am stronger than you. Okay, well, you didn't have to say it. God, I really do want to hit this boy. God, I really want to smack him outside the head. Deep breaths, Mikhail. Deep breaths. There must be some way we can get their keys. I know they both have people they're close to. Huh? People they're close to? We could talk about that later. Now that you've made your decision, talking with me isn't your top priority, is it? Mel? Nellie. I'm sorry for involving you in all this. And I'm really sorry for being, well, what I am. I'm no prince, that's for sure. Also, I was expecting, like, Inception thing where Mikhail goes back and makes better choices. I realized Key Quest was foreshadowed. Yeah. Yeah. The key thing was already presented as what's... He alluded to what we were doing here. And I'm really sorry for being, well, what I am. I'm no prince, that's for sure. You always were my prince, though, dearest Mel. You did your best to be the brother I wanted you to be. Honestly, I adored the way you fawned over me. All that affection just felt so good. Easy there. Easy there, kid. What? It made me feel like I was special, important. Having someone to care for, to pamper. It was empowering. That's the kind of guy your brother is. If someone else, some other girl were ever to show up and call me her prince, say she loved me, I'd probably try and act like a prince for her too. Why would you say that? Because all this, it's been so hard on me, such a huge weight on my shoulders, that every so often I would think, just how much easier would it be if I could get rid of her? If Morgana was just a regular girl, not a saint or a witch or any of that, just a pretty girl about my age, she might have been the one getting all my attention, instead of you. That's who I am. That's not you, dearest Mel. You're just beating yourself up. Maybe you would have chosen her over me, but that wouldn't make you any less of a kind man. How can you say that, after everything I just told you? Because, Mel, Tell me how despicable I am, Nellie. I'm not the brother you once adored anymore, am I? You're not what I thought you were, but you're still my one and only brother. That'll never change, no matter what kind of person you become. It was wrong of me to try and make you into my prince, Mel. I should have done my job as your one and only sister in the whole wide world, been there to help you as much as you helped me. I kept pushing my fairy tale fantasies onto you, and you did your best to live up to them, and I ended up forcing you to pretend to be someone you're not. That's not true, Nellie. I enjoyed feeling idolized. But you knew it couldn't last forever, didn't you? I should have been beside you, not looking up at you. I let you coddle me. I let myself indulge in your love. I thought everything would be alright as long as you kept telling me how adorable I was. They were like magic words to me. I kept my eyes shut. Mel, starting today, I'm gonna do my best to be your sister. I'm all done holding you to fairy tale ideals. I won't make you pretend to be a prince for me anymore. And I won't try to be your princess either. For the last, 10 minutes, I've been holding on. I don't know if I should voice this opinion that I have or not. Because it's gonna sound like a hating opinion, and it's, still too early in this stretch for me to make, a full opinion. But I will say, and like I said, I'm willing for my mind to be changed by the game and the story. And I'm not saying necessarily that this part has been bad, per se. But now we're, almost 2 streams of, more like a stream and a half, right? Of, time travel adventure, what we called it at the beginning of this. Where it's okay, Mikhail and Spirit of Giselle inside of his head, trying to get these keys and everything, and listening to these, seeing a different perspective on these stories we've already kind of have been next to and everything. And I feel like this is gonna sound like such a basic complaint. I feel as if I don't like this part of the story as much as what we had previously been doing. Even as much shit as I was giving, some of the doors, some of, the early doors, too, especially. But, this, maybe, I guess the best way I can... I'm not saying I hate Morgana as a character, but I don't immediately, unless something changes, or maybe if we spend more time in this, I don't find the whole rescuing / releasing Morgana aspect or character 100% compelling. I think that's probably the best way I'd put it. And I know that's going to sound like a hating ass comment. They haven't given it enough time or whatever. But I find, and maybe it'll all wrap up in a good way at some point, but I was way more interested in the love story and the background of Mikhail and Giselle. And I know technically Morgana is entwined in all that, but this just feels like a completely different like chunk of this story, which I get stories and new characters are introduced and then you got to like kind of move it along and like you present a whole nother like almost like arc kind of thing. But I just found the whole Mikhail, Giselle love story, their backgrounds, why their lives were fucked up. I found that a lot more engaging than I have this so far of like, all right, let's see who wronged Giselle and let's see the different angle of why Giselle was wronged, and then let's try to figure out a way that we can ultimately salvage and for lack of a better term, save Morgana. I might have said Giselle the last couple of times. I meant Morgana. Let's try to save Morgana thing. I don't know. I'm sounding probably, maybe I'm speaking too soon. Maybe I'm judging this too early because we're so, but like I get the sense, as I was kind of saying several minutes ago, I get the sense we're getting through all this, we're saving Mel, we're doing Mel, we're resolving this Mel thing, we're gonna get his key, and then we're gonna move on to the other two people, and we're probably gonna do something similar where it's like, all right, let's talk to the swordsman, let's see why he felt like he had to do the bad stuff, and then we're gonna get the swordsman key, and then we're gonna do, and then it's all gonna wrap up into saving Morgana. But like to me, I'm like, I just kind of miss like the fucked up love story between Mikhail and Giselle, and now all Giselle has been reduced to a voice inside Mikhail's brain. I don't know if I'm voicing my opinion like 100% well, or if I make a lot of sense, or like I said, if it's a fair criticism, and like I said, maybe I'm just judging too early, but it would feel inauthentic to me if I didn't just say, like, it's only been a stream and a half or so right now. So, but it's been a thought in my head, especially all throughout this thing, where I'm like, huh. Let me see this comment. There's one thing that's been on the back of my mind is game thoughts on forgiveness and redemption. Like, learning why they did this doesn't move me, but I really want to know. Yeah. Like, obviously, I'm compelled to see the ending to this whole Morgana thing. And like I said, my thought process, I don't know, now I feel even less sure about it, but my thought is like, it just feels so weird if the game does like make this thing where we can like change time and like change the outcome in the past. Like, to me, it just feels like somehow there's, and I'm going to say the word bullshit, and that has such a negative connotation, obviously, to it, but I just mean there's going to be some bullshit, in heavy quotes, where, to me, I feel like Morgana's not going to be, like, literally saved. I feel like the spirit of Morgana, now that she'll be able to, like I said, rest easy is, like, the best way I feel like this is going to, like, she's going to feel fine with moving on, and that she had all these shitty things happen to her, and she's gonna be like, I forgive, or, and I won't feel the need to be the witch's voice inside of your head and terrorize you kind of thing, and I don't need revenge or anything. Like, I assume that's where we're heading. I'm not saying that's a bad way we're heading if that's how it goes, but just to put it more plainly, to me, I find the love story Morgana and Mikhail thing, Giselle, too many names too many names for me. Miguel, who's Miguel? Miguel, I'm just making up names now. You know what I was saying. Fucking Miguel. Morgana. Fata Morgana, Miguel. Okay, let's get back to reading a bit more. Now he says, I'm just going to be your little sister. So get back on your feet and stand tall, dear Smell. I know you'll probably have to pay for what you've done when this Saintess goes free. And I know I'll probably cry about it for days. But I won't regret making the decision. Well, I don't know what to say. I wasn't expecting you to handle this so maturely. You're putting your big brother to shame, Nellie. Mother once told me that girls grow up faster than boys. She was right about that. Thank you, Nellie, for accepting me, in spite of all the awful things I've done, and for having me as your brother. You're quite welcome, dearest Mel. I assume that Morgana's trapped them in this pocket dimension, and once the curse is broken, they can be regarded something not miserable. Yeah, that kind of feels the way I think in the recap the beginning of the stream I said like sucked into the shadow realm kind of as a joke, but I kind of do. That feels kind of where it's going. Yeah, right. And I know I said the way I just said that makes it sound like I'm gonna be disappointed if we've already read it and kind of like pegged it from here, but like. I don't, even if that is true, I would not be the type of person that goes like, oh, well, it was foreseeable what was going to happen and all, but like, and then I'm going to be like, I wouldn't be disappointed in that, but that's not even my my main criticism, if you want to call it, is just like, but I don't want this to come across as me thinking that just Morgana as like a character isn't compelling, because I think she is. Like I said, I thought the backstory to Morgana was interesting. I liked reading all that. That was interesting. But now, I don't know. Maybe I need to rest on it. Maybe I'll sleep on it and I'll feel different after a couple days. I don't know. Well, looks like that one's that. Let me try that again. Well, it looks like that's one problem solved. They finally reached the point in their relationship where they belong. If she could have come to terms with herself sooner, come to an understanding with him, then maybe she could have reeled in her ideals before she lost control of them. Yeah, maybe. Miss Nellie and the other Nellie seem to be of the same essence. They both have a somewhat excessive love for their brothers, and that love expressed itself by transforming him into a prince. She could have done the same thing then as she did here, then maybe their tragedy could have been avoided. This is before then, though. Since they were able to fix things up in this life, maybe it'll have a positive effect on their next life. This could change the future. Oh boy. They may share the same souls, but they lived in completely different times. Do you really think something like this could have any effect on the lives of people hundreds of years from now? There's no way to be certain, of course, but considering how tightly the two seem to be bound, I doubt it'll have no effect. I hope it has some effect. Giselle? I was there, in the mansion, as it all happened, and I just stood by and watched. I feel so guilty about that. If I had done something, then maybe it wouldn't have turned out like that. I hate what I was then. What I was until just recently. From the memories left imprinted throughout the mansion, I showed you bits and pieces of their lives. And as I told you their tale, the only thing I contributed was disparaging commentary. I don't feel like you were that critical of them. I absolutely was. I talked about them like they were somehow beneath me. Yes, you did occasionally offer an opinion on someone or something you showed me beyond the doors. But the fact that you were mostly detached from the events there is what happened to me, or allowed me, to get to the core of their characters. If you hadn't been in the position you were, so you could tell me the story the way you did, I would never have been able to talk to them into helping. You contributed more than criticism. Your words weren't for nothing. They made me this possible. It makes me feel a lot better hearing that from you. And you still regret your inaction? Then make up for it now by taking action here, and have faith that it will bear fruit in their next lives. I will. I wonder if Morgana might have a change of heart too. It's not like Mel wanted to bring her so much pain. He deeply regrets what he did, so maybe she won't bear quite as much resentment for him when she learns that. Yes, I know what you're going to say. If that was enough to assuage her, she wouldn't have held on to her hatred for all those hundreds of years. Still, though, I hope it does something for her, however small. As do I. It's, gotten pretty late, so I'm gonna take Nellie back to the cottage. Okay. If you have some secret plan to get the other 2 keys, could you fill me in on it tomorrow? Sure. Alright, so while the swordsman is asleep, we go and sneak and get his key. Easy as that. Also, I could get you another room if you wanted. This one isn't the nicest. Ah, no, it's fine. I've come to realize I'm more at home in less comfortable environments. Mikhail? Am I just imagining it, or was that as depressing as it sounded? That's not quite what I was going for. Well, anyway, if you're fine with it, suit yourself. Say, I've got one huge lingering question, if you wouldn't mind enlightening me. Yes? Why would you go to such lengths for me? You seem to know Morgana, so I can understand why you would be fighting for her. But me? I had a part in putting her in that tower. You have every reason to hate me. So why would you want to help me? If this was all it took for me to hate someone, I would curse every last man and woman on the world. I bear no animosity for you, and even if I did, you've committed to take action. That doesn't explain why you were so concerned about us. It almost seemed like you actually cared about me and Nellie. But we're complete strangers. We just met today. Because some part of me couldn't think of you as strangers anymore. Huh? That's right. When he came by this afternoon to talk, he didn't feel like a stranger to me either. It was weird, like he'd known me my whole life. So I made him into my second brother. Your second brother? You're more than welcome to change the order, Nellie. Make him number 2, and me number 1. Wish I could join in and be big sister number 1. Okay, just... Okay. I'll have to think about it. You know what? Tell Nellie and Mel about the voice inside your head, Mikkel. I'm sure they'll believe you at this point. Tell that you're possessed by Giselle, who's a lover to you, and say that she wants to be a big sister or whatever. It's fine. We're one big happy family. I don't know if I read this line. I'll have to think about it. After all that, you might be number 1 material. Whoa, why is that even up for consideration? Hey. I'm just kidding, dearest Mel. Oh. I'm still kind of confused, but anyway, glad someone like you showed up. I've actually been praying every night for God to send someone who can get me out of this. I really am useless all on my own, constantly looking for someone to help me, unable to do anything by myself. And trust me, I realize how pathetic that is. Now you must have had a pretty good life to be able to be so proactive in the face of adversity. I bet you had everyone's respect, helped people in need, had plenty of friends who had your back, and weren't tossed out by your family like I was. Ooh. Oh, don't speak so soon. Don't speak so fast. You must have been incredibly blessed. I'm jealous, really. Shut up, Mel. Sorry, that came out of nowhere, I know. Well, I should be going. See you tomorrow. Good night, Mikhail, brother number 2. Good night. Mikhail? He wasn't trying to be... Yes, I know. I just thought it was rather funny. I'm not taking a stand because I've been blessed, but because I've got nothing left to lose. I fight for Morgana because I understand what it's like to be tortured day after day. Having experienced the loss of my siblings, I didn't want the 2 of them to go through the same thing. If anything, it's those who have lost the most that are most likely to take action. I'm not sure if you've realized it or not, Mikhail. But you've gotten to be a great deal more expressive since arriving in this era. I can't see your face, but I can hear it in your voice, and I can feel it in your presence. So I'm sure it's showering. So I'm sure it's showing there too. making all sorts of faces I've never seen before. Some of the things you've lost, you seem to be getting back, so you can't say you've got nothing left to lose anymore. Promise me you'll let me see all these new faces for myself someday. I will. I promise. If we can manage to destroy the mansion, that should release you from its darkness and allow us to see each other once again. I trust you. I have faith we can do this. Wait, but with the mansion's destruction, both our souls should be returned to their rightful places, which would mean erased from existence. Giselle? What? I just thought I sensed you grimacing. Wow, you felt that? What's the matter? Sorry, I didn't want to bring down the mood. It's just, well... And I know this is asking for the moon, but... I was just thinking it would be nice if you had a life you could go back to. If I did? Yeah, I mean, here you are, expressive as you've ever been, walking around outside, being around other people, talking to them, after all that time in the mansion, and without a life of your own to go back to. I'm sorry. After seeing behind your door, and learning how cruel and inhumane life was to you, I feel like the world could stand to do something good to make up for it. It's done all the good it needs to. I have someone who cares enough to lament my fate. What more could I ask for? Kel. Thank you, Giselle. You're not the only one who's asking for the moon either. I wish I could have a life with you as the person I am now. And for that, knowing I have no future, feels worse now than ever before. Alrighty, that's enough moping around for one night. We should start planning for tomorrow. Things are definitely looking up. It only took one day to get Mel on our side. It's a convenient number. 3 people, 3 keys, 3 days of till the harvest thing. Ah, you love convenience. Nice, compact numbers. So let's keep it up and win over the other 2. I would certainly like to, yes. Psh, where did all that confidence go? The other 2 won't be nearly as easy to convince as Mel. Not even sure if we'll be able to talk them into helping. We do have a pretty good idea who the swordsman's in this for, though, the nun. So maybe we can get to him through her, like we did today with Nellie and Mel. Maybe. Alright, then we'll start by approaching her tomorrow. Sounds like a plan. The Lord, though, him, I'm not so sure about. I'm assuming he's from behind the 3rd door, but we didn't run into anyone he was close with today. And in Morgana's telling of the events of the Harvest Festival, she only mentioned 5 people. Let's see, the Lord, the Swordsman, Mel, Nellie, and the nun. There's 1 person unaccounted for. We just haven't run into them yet, that's all. If he's a man from the 3rd door, I can't imagine she won't be here, too. Who's losing their confidence now? In any event, tomorrow we talk to the nun, and we hope it goes as well as it did today. You got me. You don't have anything to worry. You got me. You don't have anything to worry about now. I want to keep up. I kept reading that, wanting to add the word now at the end. Stumbling over the sentence. Or, all things considered, you might not even need me. No. I wouldn't say that. You handled Mel pretty amazingly, though. I'm not gonna lie, my heart was pounding the whole time. I was afraid you were going to slip up and say something boneheaded. But you managed to keep it together, and I didn't have to come to the rescue. I can make a book of quotes out of your performance today. Oh, for the love of God, please don't. So I'm not concerned at all. Say whatever you think is the right thing to say. I'm more than happy to sit back and watch. The more you pile on the expectations, the more afraid it makes me that I'm going to trip up. Besides, I don't think I could have done any of that without you. Why not? Well, my life was hardly as pride-worthy as Mel seemed to think. so I didn't really feel like I had a right to talk to him like that. But knowing you were there, urging me on, was what allowed me to act without hesitation. So, thank you. No thanks necessary. But if you say so, then you're more than welcome. I'm glad I could be of assistance, if just a little. That you were. Now, let's keep this momentum up tomorrow. It's getting a bit late, though, so you should probably get some sleep. What is it? I kind of don't want to sleep. What? Why not? For somewhat childish reasons. Aw, are you sad you won't be able to hear my voice? Are you lonely, you poor, poor dear? I am. What? That's the last thing I expected you to admit to. Okay, well, do you want to stay up and talk for a little longer then? Not too long, though. You need to rest up for tomorrow. And who knows, maybe I'll show up in your dreams if you wish hard enough. Oh boy. Oh boy. These two. The fact that I'm even able to talk with Giselle right now is a miracle and a blessing. So is it avarice for me to yearn for more, knowing I've already been granted such a great bounty? I want to see her face as much as she wants to see mine. She's infinitely more expressive than me, and I want a good long look at all those many expressions up close. I want more than her voice. I want her whole body. I want to feel her warmth. In this era, I have all 5 of my senses in full working order, as I did when I was alive. Giselle, though, she doesn't. She remains dead. As lively as she may be now, that's one thing she did not get back. I truly wish she could have been here too. She would have certainly found more joy in her renewed life than me. And she certainly belongs under the sun far more than I do. But she, rather than me, was the one left behind in that realm of darkness. A fact that frustrates me immensely. In life, I would have considered her remark about seeing her in my dreams silly and saccharine. But now, I very much hope it happens. Cool. Oh, the counter. Is it gonna move? Oh, it's flipping. Oh, the subtle flip from 3 to 2. The subtle flip. Gotta love it. All right. I think we'll probably call it there for the night. I started messing up on sentences at the end there. I could tell that it was because I'm brain tired. I tend to start messing up mess up as reading as I grow tired. But good stuff. Good chunk of reading. We're making progress. I do think we can finish this game by like mid-August. I think. That's what someone told me. If I kept the pace, so I think we're gonna be fine. We'll be fine. It'll be great. Let's see. We'll read more Fata Morgana next Tuesday, as we do Tuesdays and Fridays Morgana to finish. We'll take stock of where we're at and maybe have to read some Morgana in the weekend, next weekend, but I'll wait until next weekend to have to make that determination. This weekend should be kind of normal streams as we kind of clean up and finish up stuff. We probably have just one more stream of Mutazione, which I kind of want to see the ending to. I'm curious about how that ends. Dench Attack will probably happen this weekend, as would probably a little bit, probably at least of Xenoblade Chronicles as we continue that. I wouldn't expect anything else than those 3 things potentially showing up this weekend. But as I mentioned in the Timotzi on the VOD channel, I think they came out today. In the next week or 2, there'll probably be some new stuff played in the rotation and all. So, because things will obviously be wrapping up, so we gotta have more. And then we'll just plug away Fata Morgana as well. Like I said, next Tuesday we'll continue. We gotta warm up the swordsman. Him and the nun. We gotta get close to him and the nun and do a thing, and then see how that goes. Avoid his sword or something. I don't know. As always, though, thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out. These Fata Morgana streams are always fun. I'm hoping other people are enjoying it. I hope you have a great rest of your Friday night, whatever's left of it. Have a great weekend. Take it easy. Stay safe. Stay well. I'll be online a couple times throughout the weekend. And I don't think I have anything else to say. Like I said, have a great night. Take it easy. Until next time.